Hello, welcome to my live on YouTube. Today is Saturday and it's the 15th of March and it's just 3 o'clock in the afternoon UK time. And so, for those who don't know me, I'm a therapist and coach and I do this every Saturday on YouTube. I come live here to take questions and give advice for free to anyone who may need it. And so, if you have any questions to do with mental health, therapy, mindset, mindfulness, human psychology, human behavior, just ask me. And I do my best to give you some advice, but hopefully will be useful to you. I'm going to stay maybe a couple of hours, depending on how the flow goes. So I always start my live with me reading the short videos that I've put out today or the day before on TikTok. And hopefully by the time I'm done with them, I will have some questions, some interactions from you guys. So let's get started. The first post that I put out today, today's Saturday, goes like this. Don't strive to be mentally strong. Be mentally impartial so that you can see clearly. Be mentally focused so that you can direct your attention optimally. And be mentally flexible so that you can recalibrate, adapt, adjust, and grow. And so basically, the point of that post is to really highlight how we don't want to be mentally strong. Mental strength means nothing. We can be focused for one moment. We can be open. We can be unbiased so that we have mental clarity and we can assess as much information as we can. But we don't want to be mentally strong because strength implies tension. And to me, tension is the opposite of openness, flexibility, and agility. And so that was the first post. One of my strong topics that I often come back to is how we want to let go of the idea that we must be strong. There's a time and a place for everything. And so, of course, strength would apply within certain context. In terms of health, mental health and development, strength is required when we are in a state of survival. If we need to survive, we have to be strong, we have to be brave, we have to be resilient. But the more people are focusing just on strength, the more they are staying into that state of survival, instead of realizing that we don't have, for the vast majority of us, to survive. We can live, we can chill, we can grow, we can enjoy ourselves, we can thrive. And so, in order to thrive, we must be open-minded, we must be flexible, we must be focused on the things that we want to grow. I hope it makes sense. The second post goes like this. You get overwhelmed because your efforts don't match your priorities. And so this is a post to highlight how we all have some sort of energy and resources. And if we used them properly, we would never be overwhelmed. If we're overwhelmed, it's because we're looking in the wrong place, doing the wrong thing, prioritizing the wrong thing. And so, for instance, if someone has a lot of problems in their life, everything is going down the drain, any aspect of their life, relationship, health, finance, depression, all those things are happening. The reason why they're overwhelmed is because they could be focusing on the entry point to address the first most important problem in the moment, and then address one at a time, one baby step at a time. But instead, they are prioritizing the energy and the focus on looking at the scale of the whole mountain of problems, and they're feeling petrified because of this. Or maybe they're trying to solve everything at the same time, so they're going back and forth, thinking that they can multitask. And because there's just so many things to do, and they're not resting and recovering, then they will get overwhelmed. And that's because, again, they're not prioritizing their, they're not prioritizing. I'm a bit slow today. I'm a bit tired. I've been very busy the whole week. I'm a bit tired. I haven't slept that much, but I wanted to make sure that I was here today. So there you go. Finally, the third post that I put out on TikTok today, that I'm going to put out on TikTok tonight, goes like this. Your resentment towards those who abused you only hurt you, not them. Forgiving is letting go of the control that they're still having over you. And so this is a post about forgiveness. And so there's a time and a place for everything, and forgiveness is part of our healing journey. Not everyone can forgive. Not everyone will even be able to ever forgive. But if we can, it's the ultimate sign that we have healed. We don't choose to forgive. It's very important to highlight this. We don't choose to forgive. We forgive when we are ready to forgive. So we don't want to be positively toxic and tell everyone, you must forgive, because some people are just not there yet. However, if we can forgive, that's the ultimate step to really free ourselves from the past, because as long as we are still angry and resentful to people who hurt us in the past, we're angry because there's a part of us that still believes that they're dangerous and that they can still hurt us. And so somehow we still have some sort of control over us. So there you go. That was my free post of the day. Now let me read the comment and see if there's any questions that you'd like me to address. Reborn. Hello, Reborn. Didi. Hi. A friend of mine often talks to himself. Is that due to worrying or insecurity? Why would someone talk to himself? We actually always talk to ourselves. It's just that some people are aware of this and some people talk to themselves out loud. But you always have a voice in your head. You must realize that your thoughts are essentially a series of questions and answers. And so you ask yourself questions, and then the back of your mind is going to give you an answer that is going to be matching the nature and the type of the question that you just asked. So we all have some sort of dialogue in our head. We all do. It is what we call our inner critic, or self-talk. Right? Now, it's true that some people have more awareness than that. I, for instance, I have ADHD, and so I'm always thinking. But it's not a problem to me because I managed to find a way to understand how I function. And so it's okay for me to always think, provided I choose the sort of thoughts that I want to think about. And the moment where I don't think is when I intentionally meditate or practice mindfulness. So in those moments, there's less thought because I'm focused on something else. But we all talk to ourselves somehow. Now, some people are doing it out loud because they don't realize. There could be all sort of different reasons, but it's not because of insecurity, right? Worrying, it can be related to stress. If we are very much anxious or stressed out, that can actually may get us to behave like that. It can be so many things. But the main thing is to realize that we all talk to ourselves all the time, even if it's not out loud. Fitore, Amity, hi. Hello, Fitore. Hello, Reborn, do you believe that survivalism is often caused by the laws of countries to cause stress and competitiveness artificially? So I'm not sure what you mean by survivalism. I'm going to Google it. You know what? Let me go on DeepSeek. Survivalism. What does it say? The internet is a bit slow today. It's a movement of lifestyle of individual or groups known as survivalists who actively prepare for emergencies, including natural disasters, economic collapse, society breakdown, and other disruptions. So that's what I thought. I don't believe that this is what you mean. Survivalism is something that people choose to do. Like, I know friends who do that. They love to be ready for doomsday, for Armageddon. So they know how to basically survive in the forest, in the tent, how to hunt and fish and do all sort of things like bear grylls, for instance. So this is a thing. It's a hobby. It's an interest. But now what you're saying is, do you believe that survivalism is often caused by the laws of countries? So it's not what you mean. I think what you mean is the state of survival. The fact that many of us are living on a state of survival, right? And so with that in mind, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that this is what you mean. Then you're asking me, do you believe that this is often caused by the laws of countries to cause stress and competitiveness artificially? So I understand your question. So I'm going to say yes. I believe that it's not that the countries are doing it together to create havoc on the worldwide populations. But I believe that each country does it to affect their country, their people. So it depends how you look at it from. If you know about George Orwell, um, the author who wrote 1984, he basically states that there are three multi-power, and there's always two who are fighting one, and they change every now and then. And they work together in cahoot to make sure that the whole world is constantly on a state of fear and reactivity so that we can easily manipulate them. And sometimes some of them would play good cop, while some others would play bad cop. But it's always just a role play. And so this is his interpretation. He may be right, I don't know. But the way that I see it is that I believe that people's ego at the top of their government is quite important as to why all of those clashes are happening in the world. And so I can see how a lot of governments are doing it on purpose, just like the US and the UK government, for instance, they are keeping everyone on a state of survival by spreading propaganda, fear, division, hatred, but also by making people's life very difficult, so that it's easier for them, as they are in a state of survival, to be manipulated. Because when we are in a state of fear, anxiety, distress, and discomfort for a long time, we don't have that much access to our rational intelligence. And so, yes, if that's what you mean, this would be my answer to you, Rebound. Parody. Hi Didi, how are you? I'm very well, thank you, Parody, for asking. How about you? I'm a bit tired. I had a very, very big week, and so my eyes are a bit stingy, but I'm here, and it was important for me to be here, so ta-da, there you go. So ask me anything if you, to keep me awake, if anything, to keep me going. I want to ask you, why do I regret it when I set boundaries for others, as if I fear that they won't like it or retaliate? So let me read this again. I know the answer, but I want to make sure that I get it right. I want to ask you why I regret it when I set boundaries for others, as if I fear that they won't like it or retaliate. Because you don't understand what boundaries are. Boundaries is not about you expressing your preference. It's not you saying, I don't like this. Boundaries is you telling them what you are going to do if they don't change their behavior. That's different. Right? You are telling them, this is my ultimatum, this has been going for too long, I don't like it, and so it's your choice. You either respect my boundaries, you know which they are, or I'm not going to see you, or whatever that you decide to do, otherwise this will happen. This is what a boundary is. And so when you say you regret setting boundaries, you're just regretting telling them because you're scared that you may not be able to deal with their reaction. You're worried. You may think, oh, if I tell them my boundaries now, they might actually be unhappy and treat me even worse, right? And so yes, you say clearly, I fear that they won't like it or retaliate. And so the boundaries is not about anything else, but precisely not allowing them to retaliate. Just create a space between you and them. This is the best thing that you can do, right? We don't realize that many of us don't realize how very often the simplest way to deal with situation is to move away from it. That's it. Now, sometimes it's not possible, so we need to think about other things. But very often, people who keep on hurting us, if they are close people to us, it's so easy to organize a different system so that we don't need to see them that much anymore. Does it make sense, M? Reborn 2020. Do you have an example of forgiving that you experienced firsthand? I've got plenty of them all my life. I have, not all my life, but for the first 38 years of my life, I've behaved very, very wrongly to so many people because of my conditions. But I've learned how to eventually not only... I learned how to forgive myself. That's the main thing. And so, I don't know, let me see, let me try to understand your question. Do you have an example of forgiving that you experienced firsthand? I don't know, it's a vague question. Can you be more specific, please? I really want to, I really love talking to you, but you've got to be more specific. it's a vague question. There are thousands of things I could say already. So, so please, could you maybe be more precise as to what sort of things you would like me to say about it? Greg Otero, you look like you can cook. Beautiful photo. Beautiful photo behind you. They look so classy and well dressed. Okay, they're my parents. Thank you. I'm not sure what to do with the comment, but I can't cook. But all right, fair enough. Jason, hello from Canada. Hello, Jason. How are you doing there? Host, oh, Stacy, hello. Watching from Toronto. Okay, fantastic. I've left a like. Thank you so much. Thank you. I like Canada. If it was up to me, I could actually live in a place like Montreal. I was born in France, so I speak French. So yeah, I do like the Canadian vibe. So hello, everyone from there. Thanks for your answer, brother. Thank you so much, I'm glad that it was appreciated by you. Reborn, yes. Okay, that was for the first question. Oh, Stacy, I have CPTSD. So far, that is my only diagnosis. Toronto has no budget for those with mental health issues, so there's a 2-year wait list for people like me to get help. I was wondering if you can help. Yes, sure. That's what I'm here for. So if you want to ask me anything at all, just do, and we can talk about anything. I will do my best to give you some advice that hopefully can be actionable for you. So I have CPTSD as well, so we can, I mean, I had it, but we still have a brain that is slightly different, but it's possible to actually overcome the main triggers, the main problems to do with most conditions, really. And so, oh, Stacy, how do I stop thinking worst case scenario all the time? It gives me extreme anxiety. And how do I control my emotions? When I'm hungry, I find that I get extremely emotional. How do you stop that? So you're right, it's a big topic and everyone is vastly different. And so I can address a few bits and bobs and hopefully you get some goodness out of it. But first, we can't stop thinking a thought. So if you have a worst case scenario, it's because your mind is designed to do this. It wants to help you. It keeps on bringing you the worst case scenario to remind you that some bad things happened in the past and it may happen again. And just like in the past, you won't be able to do anything about it. What you can do, however, is to choose better thoughts. So it's a skill that takes repetition and repetition and tons of repetition to do. But it's possible for you to, instead of allowing for the old voice to keep on reminding you that you've been hurt, that it's going to happen again, you can train your brain over time to potentially, it depends, we're all different, but potentially you can train your brain how to choose better thoughts. But to be honest with you, if you have CPTSD, you really want to address your emotional mind first, not your cognitive mind, because the trauma is in your body. It's in your bones, it's in your spine, it's in your nervous system, it's not in your head. And so we can't outthink a trauma that has changed the way that we function at a very subconscious level. So what we want to do is to find a way to access here. Again, therapy, hypnotherapy, EMDR, there's a lot of different ways to do this. But if you don't have access to this, you can still learn how to practice mindfulness and meditation. This is what you want to do in the long term. Again, it's a skill. So you will need to learn and to be patient and to persevere because nothing is going to happen like that. Nothing in life happens like that. Nothing in life is easy when it's new and different. However, everything becomes easier by virtue of repetition. And that goes for everything. And so what you want to do is to learn how to essentially have a better relationship with your mind. And there's one thing that you could do. It's quite hardcore, but then again, you have CPTSD, so you have nothing to lose. But I would suggest you to do some ice bath therapy, ice shower therapy. This is physical. You go into cold plunge, ice bath or ice shower, and that will reset your nervous system for a while. That will help you kind of, yes, reset your whole system for at least a moment. And so yeah, practice mindfulness. Another thing that you can do is to learn more about your mind. Some of us are very cognitive, very, very intellectual, and so reading and learning about your own mind can actually help you over time decipher the system that will work for you, right? I could give you some hacks, but they are just hacks and they don't necessarily work for everyone. But one thing that I suggest to some people and that work for some people is for you to imagine the best case scenario. So again, if you have CPTSD, it depends. I don't know you, but it depends what sort of things you've been through, how intense, what are the patterns. Um, but you can choose to to force yourself, to trick yourself into believing, into thinking about more positive outcomes. And so here's a trick. When we worry about the worst case scenario, we're asking ourselves. So I was saying how our thoughts are questions and answers. So we're asking ourselves, what if bad thing happens? What if I fail? What if they reject me? What if I get hurt? And so the nature of the question will dictate the nature of the answer. So if you say, uh, what if they make fun of me? Then the answer is going to be, then you're going to be, you're going to be feeling worse. So don't do that. Don't go there. Right? What if they don't get me? What if the more we ask sort of questions, the more disempowering the answers will also be. So now, and also because you are visualizing the situation. What if that situation goes bad? You are visualizing yourself tomorrow or whenever that situation is going to happen, how it's going to be in the worst possible case scenario. Now, choose the opposite. Tell yourself, what if everything goes well? What if everything works for me? 100%. What if things go even better than I thought it was going to be? And then imagine yourself having that meeting, doing that thing, and everything is hunky-dory. Visualize this. Practice visualization. And that, if you can get your head around this, if you can spend enough time developing that skill, again, everything is a skill. So nothing is easy. Nothing happens just like that, right? Everything is about us learning how to understand our mind and how to practice until we're able to operate from a more empowering perspective. So tell yourself, what if everything goes well? What if what if I'm super lucky? And visualize yourself doing this, because the truth of the matter is that you know, and I know, and everyone knows that the future is a big question mark. No one knows about the future. No one has got any clue about what will happen. No one knows. And so you might as well entertain thoughts that are positive rather than negative. Thoughts that are empowering rather than disempowering. Thoughts that are making you feel good and uplifted rather than thoughts that are making you feel more anxious and stressed out and feeling tense and fearful, right? So that's one of the things that you can try. And again, I'm very well aware that depending on your case, it may not work, but you can give it a try. And by trying, I mean keep trying for a while, give it a chance, right? How do I control my emotions? So this is a very important topic. We don't control our emotions. We believe that we must control, because everyone says that, control your emotions. And the more we're trying to control our emotions, the more we're hurting ourselves, because emotions cannot be controlled. Emotions are a life energy that we feel that are vital to our human experience, and it goes in and out and through us all the time, and we must process this information. They're there to tell us something about ourselves. They're very, very important. And so when we try to control our emotions, all that we can do really is to repress them. We're ignoring them. We are running away, hiding away from them, hiding them in a cave deep down. But because those are energies, if they're not being processed, they're going to be trapped into your body. They're going to turn to toxicity. It's going to be creating a lot of problems, not only mentally and emotionally, but also physically. It's going to aggravate any conditions that you may have, or even trigger some. And so it's very important to understand that we can't control our emotions. What we want to do is to understand them. You want to have a good relationship with them. So you want to learn about emotional intelligence. it's a big topic. It's a whole process. And so the first step would be for you to understand that you don't want to control your emotions. You want to let go of control. And this is the thing with CPTSD, with trauma. We need to control everything because it's the only thing that gives us a sense of hope. If I can control things, then I am not at the mercy of the universe, of the bad people in this world. But the truth of the matter is that we never controlled anything. What we want to do is to learn how to instead reconnect with the universe, trust it, have faith, open ourselves. So now, of course, we don't want to open ourselves to people who are going to hurt us. So it's a whole thing to learn. We need to learn how to assess a situation, how to read our environment in a way that is not trauma oriented, as in paranoid. And so, again, if you don't have access to professional help, what you can do is to learn about your mind. There's a lot of books that you can read. Dr. Gabor Mate, a fellow Canadian, my hero, I love him. Everything that he's wrote was always amazing, very helpful. So Gabor Mate is helpful. You can practice mindfulness and meditation, and you can learn how to visualize more positive outcomes when you are thinking about what may happen. Try this and see what happens. When I am hungry, I find that I get extremely emotional. How do you stop that? So that is the symptom of your trauma. It's not the problem itself. And so we don't want to address the smoke. We want to address the fire. If you get hungry, you get emotional, there's a lot of things that develops into your body and your mind over time, but it's all born from one original need. The need to stay safe because something happened to you, and so your mind created a system back then, fight, flight, freeze, or phone, and over time it developed into different ways because we're all so vastly different, and then that has created all of your response triggers, reactions that you have that are creating problems in your life now. Ask me more, please. I need to have more details about you to know what to say, but I hope that whatever I said so far was somehow at least insightful, if anything. Reborn, since you addressed the topic of forgiveness in your video, I thought perhaps you experienced forgiveness. Yes, I have, of course. We all have, whether we're aware of it or not, and at different level of capacity. But yes, we all forgive, or we get forgiven by some people at some point in our lives. Now, the problem is that we often don't feel that we're being forgiven by the right people. Those who are very important to us, maybe they have not forgiven us, or maybe we find it difficult to forgive some people. And so the problem is not the experience of forgiveness. The problem is, well, is whom forgiveness is about. I hope it makes sense. Robbie Rooker, I remember having bad anxiety in my stomach area. Ashwagandha, I feel saved me. Okay, good on you. If something helped you, why not? There's a lot of systems out there, a lot of also alternative holistic stuff, and I have no problem with them if it's something that you believe in, because some people have found some benefit in all sorts of different things. And that's why I always say there's not one system in the world that will heal everyone. There is, however, something for you. Wherever that you are at this point in time in your life, whatever happened to you, whatever that you think or feel about yourself, there is something for you. And it's for you to find out what it is. So it may not necessarily be therapy protocol, or maybe it is because there are many of them now. But it could be a spiritual awakening path, journey that can create a lot of change inside of us. It can be addressing your lifestyle. We don't realize that a lot of our mental and emotional problems are directly related to our body. We are one thing. We're not. I often say that we're not a body and a mind and a soul or spirit. We are the whole of it. However, when we see ourselves as a body or mind or spirit, it's only because of the angle from which we're looking at ourselves from. So if I look at myself from physic perspective, I'm a body. If I look at myself from a psychological perspective, I'm a mind. If I look at myself from a spiritual perspective, I am eternal being. But this is what I believe in. So everyone is different. But and so what I'm trying to say is that very often, if you don't have access, and this is actually something that I should have said also in regards to you, oh Stacy. To address your CPTSD, one thing that you can really do is to address your lifestyle and your environment. Those are things that we can all do. It requires no money, and you can absolutely learn online how to sleep better, how to exercise and move better, how to eat better, how to socialize better, how to spend time in nature, how to optimize the different aspects of your body, make sure that you have some sunlight in your face every day, go for walks, those sort of things. This is the lifestyle. And the environment is going to be you being in places and be surrounded by people who are compatible with your hypervigilance, with your heightened state of sensitivity, hypersensitivity. Right? So basically, don't go in places that are overwhelming for you. Don't surround yourself with people who are going to be negative to you and stress you out and make you feel more tense. Those sort of things. Those are things that you can learn how to do, cost no money, and it takes a lot of time to actually learn how to do things properly. So this is what I always talk about. To address anything, we have three aspects of us. Number one, we want to address our emotional triggers, the ones that are creating the most problems in our life. And this is what therapy, but also mindfulness, meditation, any type of inner work will do. But then there's also the lifestyle. Sleep, eat, move, socialize, nature, be creative, do things that make you happy, rest, meditate, those sort of things. And then environment. Make sure that you are in the right place with the right people, both at home and at work. Jane, I got social anxiety. Okay. Do you want to ask me a question, please? This is how I function. What would you like me to tell you about social anxiety? Because again, there are vague topics and I can talk about those in great length, but it may not be appropriate to what you need. So I need you to tell me, please, what gets you to say that? What would you like to know about it? Or what maybe specific problems do you have that you would like to share with us so I can give you some alternative, perhaps? Reborn. My cousin did not talk to me for 20 years. Never quarreled with him since my mum passed away. He suddenly appeared and wants to be friends. I wonder why always that someone has to die to patch back. So this is not true. So you want to change that mindset. It's not that people has to die for people to come back. Sometimes people come back when people don't die. Some people die and they don't come back. There's all sorts of possibilities. What you're saying here doesn't tell me anything about your cousin. It tells me about your mindset. I think that you may be in a bad place here. And maybe you are feeling depressed and you believe that people are bad and they don't do anything unless there's something that happens. So this is what transpires to me. But it's absolutely not true. It's not the truth that people just come back to you when people die. There are tons of reasons as to why millions of things happen and everything happens. And so, yes, you want to ask yourself more, why am I feeling like that? So I know that you are being overwhelmed because you just lost your mum, and I hope that you are getting better about this, but maybe you want to spend more time going out, doing things, being creative, meeting people. Don't spend so much time thinking about things, because depression, and if you are dealing with grief and it's all adding up, then you really want to lighten up your load, let go of the burden of what you're going through and maybe whatever you've been going through all your life. And so my advice to you is to spend more time doing things that make you happy. Spend more time thinking about thoughts that are going to stimulate you positively, as opposed to allowing for you to just rummage and think about the negative stuff. Think about the past, the things that you don't have. Because if you don't do anything, if you don't choose activity intentionally, purposefully, proactively to have better thoughts in your mind or to do things that make you happy, your default setup will kick back in, and that'll be you thinking about, I miss my mum, people are so unkind, why are they always like that, and those sort of things. And so you can choose to actually focus your mind on more empowering thought. And again, it's a skill that you develop. So practice one baby step at a time. But you can choose how to think, you know what, uh, maybe it's not true. My cousin maybe had their life and they didn't think about me, because we all have millions of things happening in our lives. And maybe mom dying was them reminding us of us, and now it's happening, and it's a good thing. Instead of me being paranoid and thinking, why are they plotting? Why did it come? Instead of it, appreciate them wanting to be a friend. Be grateful about it. It's nice, it's okay, no problem. I'm ready now. I could do with a friend. I could do with someone more on my side with whom we can share some memories of my mum and talk about all those things, right? So change the way that you think and feel by reminding yourself that everything that you believe is just a habit of belief, a habit of thoughts that you have conveyed over the years, and you can't change all of this. If it makes you feel defensive or sad, then you want to change them. I hope it helps. Danielle, any advice for 26 years old? I'm lonely. I don't have much friends and I don't go out much. All I do is work. You want to change the idea that you have of yourself. Everything that you do is down to your sense of self. You believe that this is who you are. You believe that some things are available to you, but also a lot of things that you want are not available to you. This is why your mind has created a lifestyle that supports your identity. And so for you to do something else, you want to change your identity. How do you change your identity? By realizing that there's nothing about your personality that is fixed. Everything that you believe about yourself is a belief. You have picked up belief all along, all throughout your life. And the first belief that you had were to do with protection, safety. But also, as you observed your parents, there's some things about them that you may have picked up on or absorbed, and that has also become you. And so it's a big thing, there are many facets. But what we want to know is that there's not a single aspect of your personality that was originally yours. All of the things we pick up from everyone and everything, we are literally sponges, and we absorb through our upbringing and environment whatever is happening around us, right? So now we all have a potential. We can really be all happy and successful and healthy and find love and all of those things. But the vast majority of us, we suffer because we miss out on some things, and the only reason we don't have some of the things that we want in life is only because we believe that those things are not available to us. And if we believe that some things are not available to us, it's because some things happened in the past when we were young to teach us that, right? And so, for instance, if mom and dad were working a lot and were not always at home because we're working too much, I may believe that being loved unconditionally is not available to me. Because even though I may know that mom and dad are working very hard, emotionally, the child is going to feel it's because I'm not important enough. I'm not as important as this or that. And I know that it's not rational for adults, but as children, we function purely via emotions. And so now, as we grow up in adulthood, if we don't get love, if we're neglected, or if we were abused, then we're going to believe that love is not available to me. And because of that, we're going to find it very difficult to try to connect with people. Because if we connect with people, there's a chance that they may love us. So we're going to keep away. And now we must have some social anxiety. We may be very shy or introvert or all sort of things like that. Lack of confidence, low self-esteem. And so this is only one example, random one, but everything that you want to change is down to your sense of self. So you want to change the way you see yourself in the knowing that there's nothing about you that you can't change. There's not a single thing about you that you cannot change. We have a sense of self because we believe that we must have a sense of identity in order to understand the world. If I know who I am, I know what the world is about, because what we must know, what we must realize is that the experience that we have of life and reality is absolutely a reflection of how we feel about ourselves. And so whatever that we have believed about ourselves because of whatever happened to us is going to kind of manifest the reality that we experience each moment. And so in order to change the outer world, we must first address our inner world. Hope it makes sense. If you are lonely, it's because you believe that you don't belong. And so what I would suggest you is to, specifically for you, is to find your tribe. Recognize what are the things that you like. I'm sure that you have some interest, some things that you enjoy more than others. And so maybe find people who share the same interest. And so that will be a way for you to realize that it's not like there's you against the world. If you look at the world, you may realize there's a lot of different groups of people, a lot of different tribes. You must find your tribe. There's a tribe for you. And if you can't find it, create this, make it happen, right? And a lot of people like you will come out of the woodwork to join your tribe. So yes, if you don't have much friend, the problem is not that you don't have much friend. The problem is that you don't see yourself as someone maybe that is likable, someone that is funny, that is good to be around. Again, it's all down to the perception that you have about yourself. And I don't go out much. All I do is work. And so also in regards to that, work less. Organize your life so that there's some balance. Work is a good thing, and sometimes if you like your work, it's not a bad thing to spend a lot of time doing it, but you must make sure that you also socialize and go out. And so if you haven't done it for a long time, it's going to be very, very daunting. So you want to take it one baby step at a time. Go out only in places at a time when it's not overwhelming for you, and find places where there are more people like you. And eventually things will become easier. Now again, we are all very, very different. So this is just based on that block of words. I don't know you at all, right? But if you want to tell me more about yourself, I can give you some more advice, but I need to have more information. Reborn. If someone wants to control his spouse over what he or she does, or doesn't like when spouse has friends, why is that so? Is it due to possessiveness? Does it come from childhood? So when people need to control their partner, it is indeed it's all sort of reasons, but it's not a healthy kind of relationship. Obviously, they either control people because it gives them a sense of power. Let me think. Or yeah, no, this is it. People who need to control others, they are essentially living in fear. And so they're thinking, if I can control others, I'm the one, I'm the alpha, I'm the apex, I'm the one above, so I'm safe. So it's an oversimplification, but that could absolutely, I think, kind of resume all the reasons as to why people need to control things, because they are living in fear. Control is born from the need to stay safe. And that's why so many people are obsessed with control. You have to be strong. You have to control your emotions. You have to control your life. You have to do this. You have to do that. Instead of, let it go, surrender. There's a place and a time for everything. If you're always controlling things, you're going to be so rigid. You're not going to, you're going to be trapped into an idea of the world that you have of yourself, instead of opening yourself to the universe and see what it's got to do, what it's going to give you. But obviously, the more people need control, the more they live in fear. And so it implies that the more they have suffered from trauma. People who need to control the most are people who really, really, they live in a state of fear. This is the state of survival that I talk about often. They react to things that don't match their reality. So a lot of people, for instance, not all, because I'm also that generation, but a lot of people of a certain generation are going to react to new things happening. And they're going to say, the woke, I don't want woke things. I don't want all that pronouns nonsense, racism. What racism? All that sort of things. And the only reason they do this is because the world is changing. And they can't accept that the world is changing because it's no longer going to be exactly like they knew it. So they're losing control And that's why they react to it. They get offended, and they end up voting for sort of people who are going to promote and take advantage of their fear and reactivity. So yes, control. Dear Jane, I got so much social anxiety. Tell me something. What should I do? I feel to go to pee when I'm anxious. I need to go to pee when I'm anxious. I'm suffering this for the last 2 years. So social anxiety is a symptom. It could be other things so that are aggravating it. And again, there are two things to take into account. Some things that may have happened to you in the past that are not heard, and your environment. So basically, if we have been through some difficulties in our past, our mind is going to be hypersensitive to the environment because it's a system to protect ourselves from further harm. And so now, if you are going to be in a state, in a place where there's a lot of stress, a lot of noise, a lot of chaos, a lot of pressure, a lot of deadlines, a lot of judgment, a lot of people, then it's going to exacerbate that hypersensitivity that you have already from the past experiences. So you want to find out essentially more about yourself. If you can, I would always suggest to seek some professional help. But if you can't, I would tell you the same thing that I told Stacey Ho. You can learn more about yourself. You can read about your mind. You can practice mindfulness. You can practice yoga, those sort of things. You can have some ice bath therapy. You can go to the gym, spend more time in nature. There's a lot of things that you can do. You can have explore more different spiritual school of thought. There's so many things that you can do, but it's for you to explore your past and explore what would work best for you now. But the main thing today for you to know is to realize that you are the continuation of everything that happened to you up to this point. And so there's nothing wrong about you. You are not inferior. You're not weak. There's nothing broken about your character. It's not that. We are that we are because of whatever happened to us, every single one of us. And so if you feel that you find it difficult, it's not because you are lesser. Your mind wants you to believe that because it's the narrative that you have about yourself, but it's not true. And so you want to find out, how can I change my personality? How can I let go of some of the things that I have created at some point in my life to protect me, right? So again, the main thing that I can teach you now, same thing as I would say for everyone, address your lifestyle, address your environment, practice mindfulness and meditation. Right? Just that is going to require a lot of time, right? Those are big things. But there are so many different ways to address how we feel. Yeah. But if you can give me a specific example, I'm happy to give you something more specific, perhaps. But I need you to give me a detailed example of a pattern, something that is happening all the time. And maybe we can address it by changing the way that you think about it. Because there's one thing also, with social anxiety, with everything. We never suffer from a thing, from an event. We suffer from our interpretation of the event, of the thing. And so what we can do is to change how we interpret that data. Right? Data is blank, and it becomes an information when we are interpreting it. I hope it makes sense, right? Data is neutral. Information is charged in emotional energy. And so the way that you're going to interpret a situation is going to dictate the experience that you have of it. So you can change your interpretation. And I can give you a very simple example. If someone, let's say I'm walking in the street, a stranger bumps into me. I can interpret it in many different ways. The situation is just, he bumped into me. That's it. It's the stimulus. But I can think maybe, what's wrong with you? Oh, bad people. They're so disrespectful. They don't know where they're going. We should watch out where they're going. So that's one interpretation of the event. Another one could be that person could be dangerous. I'm not going to say anything. The world is bad. I'm going to just ignore it, pretend as if nothing happened. That's another interpretation. Third interpretation, I could say, I could think, oh, that person is a bit overwhelmed. I'm going to tell them, slow down, otherwise you're going to end up run over by a car. So I'm going to be kind. I want to be helpful. Right? And so the same event has created three different interpretations. One was anger-based, the other one was fear-based, and the last one was about being kind and helpful and compassionate. And so it's never about the event or the situation, it's about your interpretation of it. And so when you have social anxiety, you may think some things about yourself. So I want you to tell me what you think. What are the thoughts? What are the thoughts that are in your mind? Because the event is just you being out there in a place with certain people around you. So tell me, what sort of thoughts, what interpretation have you got of that event? Tell me an event, a pattern, and then we can maybe change the interpretation of it. You may think, everyone is watching me, everyone is waiting for me to fall and to laugh at me and to point their fingers at me. That's an interpretation. Or you may change it, again, for repetition, but you can first tell yourself, maybe they don't care. Maybe they're just living their life. They don't even know that I'm here. If they laugh, maybe it's got nothing to do with me. We all have millions of things happening in our lives all the time. I'm not the center of the universe, right? Why do I believe that everyone is fixated on me? They're not. Some may, and even if they are, even if there was some people like that, they are projecting their own reality over me. It's got nothing to do with me. So you can change this like that. Standing 34. Conditioning. I retracted a couple of messages, so I won't be able to know. Standing. People are conditioned to think in certain ways. Yes, we are. But we can change the conditioning. That's the whole point of personal growth, healing, development, all of those things. Growth and healing is the same thing, to me. Standing, exactly. Okay. Parody, you have been guiding me with this, so wanted you to know I've reached a different place as far as my mum. Fantastic. Well done, Parody. Thank you. She can't handle me having boundaries. She cries now to me, begging so. I talk to her as if I was the mum to help calm her. Okay, that sounds great. Thank you so much. I don't know if there's going to be more, but just that is amazing. Thank you. Well done. So now you have become the mum, right? And now she has become the child. Lakshya. Hi, remember me, Didi? Yes, I remember your name. I don't remember the conversations that we had, but, I'm sure it will come back as soon as we start to interact. Dominic, konnichiwa or hello? Hello. I'm not Japanese. I know that I look Japanese. My mom used to say that all the time. She used to say that she picked up the wrong baby in the hospital and they got a Japanese one instead. But my genes are Chinese. And I was born in France and I live in the UK. But yes, hello. Parody, you taught me how to handle a narcissist. Thank you, Didi. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Parody. Yes. Very, very happy with that. Yes, gosh. This is what I'm doing. If any one of you can change some aspect of their life because of me going live, I haven't wasted a single second doing anything that I do online. I'm so happy with this. Thank you so much. Well done, Parody. Well done. Good on you. You should be very proud of yourself. I'm proud with you and for you. Reborn at Parody. Thumbs up. Yes. Thank you for the heart. Parody at Reborn. I don't know how to tag someone here. Lol. Thank you. Anthony. Yes, Stokes. Hi, bro. Loving your content. Thank you so much, Anthony. I'm glad you do. Parody. If we give up wanting control, then we'll be less anxious, I'm sure. I don't want control. I just want bad humans to keep their distance. Yes, absolutely. Here's the thing. The more we are, again, I was talking about that post about forgiveness. The more we are angry at someone, or the more we're trying to prove them wrong, to convince them, to change their mind, to heal them, the more we're still trying to control things. And paradoxically and ironically, the more they're still controlling us. And so the best way to deal with any of those things is to learn how to breathe, let go. right? Surrender, yield. There's a time and a place for everything, yin and yang. There's a time to focus, and there's a time to let go. And we are only being taught how to focus. It's the Western way of thinking. Do more, be more, have more, uh, display more, instead of less. Let it go, chill, relax, uh, uh, take a break, and allow, accept that some things we can't change, and allow for the universe to do its job, and trust it instead of control. I need to understand what is going on. I need to have a step ahead. I need to always think about those things. Anthony says hi. Hello, Anthony. Chair or walk? Message retracted. Eli, you look buff, man. Do I? All right. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm happy. I'm glad I look buff. I like my training. I haven't been training for a few days now. I need to go sometime tomorrow, but thank you. Chair or walk? Thank you. Subscribe. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Chair or walk? Chelsea, you are so smart. Am I? Thank you so much, Chelsea. I'm glad you appreciate. Uzma, but being cheating, I don't know what it means. Via Jane, 2 years ago, I got stuck on a question in a class test and I couldn't solve it. And I was the class topper. Everyone was looking at me. After that, it started happening. It has affected my academics. Okay, so basically you're under a lot of pressure because you believe that, okay, there's all sort of things. Maybe you have experienced those sort of things when you're younger, when people are putting pressure on you and you feel that you are like a gazelle with a bunch of lions staring at it. And so what I'd say is whenever you are feeling like that, that's because you want to be someone, you want to do something, you want to prove others that you're enough. So basically, all of your focus is on the external. What do they think of me? What are they going to say to me? How am I going to look across? How am I going to come across to them, right? And so change that. Instead of thinking about, if you have to face people, instead of thinking about what are they thinking about me, think about you. What am I going to tell them from my place, from the inside out? Change that perspective. But as long as you keep on having that inner dialogue that is saying, what are they thinking about me? Now you're going to think, oh, I feel horrible. So it's something that you can change over time. But again, it all depends on your level of stress, right? We're all different. Nothing works for everyone. When you see all those people on social media, they give you some hacks with a little smirk, thinking, I'm so clever. It may work for you, it may not work. But if it doesn't work, it doesn't mean that it doesn't work for anyone either, right? And so, yes, it could be something to do with a situation from the past, or maybe you can just address it, just like I said, by changing the way that you think about the situation. Instead of thinking about what they think about you, think about how am I going to share that message, that information when you speak in public, for instance, right? Chelsea, I also have this social anxiety. Okay. Again, give me more details, guys, please, so that I can give you some more specific answers. Right? Via Jane, now when I'm around people, especially friends, I am anxious, and when I'm giving a test or I'm in a class. Yes, you are a perfectionist. You have too much pressure. Did your parent put you under pressure? You have to be the best. You have to be the first in class. Otherwise, you're not good enough. Because that is very often what happens. Right? A lot of us, we've been put so much under pressure by our parents who want us to be high achievers that now we are terrified with failure, with rejection, with not being good enough. Right? So if that's the case, tell us, you want to address perfectionism. Do you believe that you are a perfectionist or not? Just answer me that question, please, Veer Jane. Are you a perfectionist? Reborn 2020. If you ask 5 people about interpretation, you will get 5 different interpretations. Yes. Is there a universal perception of common interpretation? Does it exist? No. No, it's a very good question. It's very important to my system of thought. There's not one single, universal, and absolute and fixed truth or reality. There's only our experience of it. And it's a concept that is very difficult for so many to grab, because, again, if they are being told that, they're going to feel out of control. They're losing control. They're going to be back into that place of fear. They can't accept that there's no such thing as one true universal reality. They need to know that there is a reality, and they have the system that will give them the most safety within that reality. But the truth of the matter is that we are so vastly different, and there's been a lot of studies that have been demonstrating something very interesting. The brain can only capture 0.0035% of all types of light that exist, that we know of. So very little. What it means is that there's a lot of animals and insects that can perceive some light, some frequencies, some radiation, some vibrations that we cannot, because we have our system and they have theirs. So what it means is that if we can only perceive, so the way it's phrased is 0.0035% of anything, then it means that reality is created by the brain, in the brain, based on a little fragment of information that we have captured from the outside of our skull. Right? And so what it means is that and this is what the brain is about, it's a prediction machine. It's going to make up a reality for us. And so that really reinforces the idea that indeed we all have a different reality, because we all have a different set of belief, a set of filters and lenses from which we're going to perceive reality, or more interpret it. And so yes, this is to me the number one thing as to why the world is in such a disarray, because everyone believes that there is not only one truth, but also that they own the truth, and everyone else's truth is not right. And I'm not just talking about spiritual, religious truth. I'm talking about any truth. Right? If you can understand that everyone has got a different experience, and that it is as true to them as anyone else's truth, then we can understand instead of judging. Right? Because the part of the system is to realize that my system involves good or bad, right or wrong, black or white. But if you can understand that there's a bigger picture than right or wrong, then we can learn how to fix things, how to rehabilitate, how to teach people, how to heal them, starting with ourselves. So there you go. Here's my answer. Thank you, Reborn, for the question. Ronan, your videos have been very helpful. Fantastic. Thank you, Ronan. I'm glad you appreciate it. Ronan, picked up the wrong baby at the hospital. Yeah. I'm saying it with a laughter, but we used to have a very chaotic and difficult relationship for a long time. Now we're fine, but it took us a lifetime together, and I'm happy. But yeah. So someone wrote, I can't read that. Let me see the translation. There's no translator. So Poma, I can't understand what you say. I don't know if it's Greek writing or Russian. It's a different alphabet. Poma, I haven't got a clue. Could you use a translator app to translate it for me? Because there's no options of translation on YouTube. I'm finding out now. Desia said hi. Hello, Desia. Chelsea, when I was younger, I used to talk a lot, and one day someone said to shut up, that no one cares about what I have to say. Since then, I'm very awkward and quiet around people. Okay, I get it. So this is very good, because you have an awareness as to why you've been aware. You still remember this, right? A lot of us will forget, and that makes it even harder to address or program the things that I want to change about our subconscious mind. And so what you can do is to tell yourself, okay, now this is happening again. I'm feeling very awkward and quiet around people. Feel that feeling in your body. And then remind yourself, I know why. Because when I was younger, I used to talk a lot. And then one day someone said, shut up to me. And ever since, that shut me up. But if you are feeling like that, it's because in that moment, you are the child once again. In that moment, you have become the little girl that you used to be, and that used to feel overwhelmed and intimidated by the adults. They're right, I'm wrong, I need to shut up. So now I'm feeling awkward. So what you want to do is to look at that situation from the position of who you are now as an adult. So if you're an adult and you look at yourself, imagine this. You have a friend of yours that is very, very shy or introvert, and they're telling you, gosh, I feel so awkward with people, there's something wrong about me. What would you tell that friend? Would you go, yes, you're rubbish, just shut up, no one cares about you? Of course not, because you care for that friend. And so you would tell your friend, it's not true. Just learn how to express yourself and know that the right people will get you. And the wrong ones will just disappear and vanish. Just create a space, don't worry about them. We tend to spend more importance in the people who are refusing us to kind of, it's like a challenge, right? If we're thinking, if we can, the subconscious mind is trying to deal with a situation from the past by repeating it. But the easier thing to do is to realize that we're all different, having a different journey, and anything could happen here in anyone's mind, in their life, so we don't know what's going on. And so instead of imagining and assuming things, we must just realize, okay, some people express yourself, and then stick to the ones who get you, and let go of those who don't. It's very simple. It's a good system. Try this. But the key element here is to see things from the position of the adult, not from the emotional mind, not from the position of the little girl that was being shut down. See yourself as an adult and say, okay, who am I? I am a grown-up. I can speak out my truth. I can say things. What is going to happen? Now, when you're a little girl, there will be consequence. Not anymore. Now you can be yourself, and the only consequence is that some people may not like you. But it's a good system, because if you're being yourself, then you are showing your true self. And that will kind of separate the wrong ones from the good ones. Does it help, Chelsea? Chair or walk? You are very welcome. Thank you. 6 offender. We're not consuming children for nutrition. Make me feel better. I feel very well fed but empty. I don't even know what to say about this. First, VHN. I was, now I'm not, I'm done. What do you mean, I'm done? Do you want to elaborate? I'm a bit lost here. Jessica, who is the man and woman in the picture in the back? It's my parents. My mom and my dad when we get married. 6 offenders are divorced. Run and trippy concept, not one reality. Yes. So 6 offender, I don't know what you're on. Did you smoke something? I'm here to help people with mental health problems, and so please be kind. There's a time and a place for everything, right? So I'm going to remove this red. I'm going to remove any racist comment. They're not welcome, okay? Who else have we got? Remove. Harry, hi. Try walk. I only eat organic oats. Okay, I'm not sure what to do with that. Chelsea, well, you're right. I'm glad I subscribed to you. You're awesome. Thank you so much, Chelsea. I'm glad you appreciate something that I've said. Azim, yo, nice tattoo. Yo, thank you. Jaya, hi, hello. And nothing but a thing said hi. Hello. What are your hobbies? I've got many hobbies. First, I am obsessed with my work. And so I'm really, really obsessed. I've got an ADHD mind. And so I can hyper focus on the things that I love. And so I'm thinking about the mind, about psychology, about my clients every day. I write about it. I create content. I'm obsessed with psychology. I'm obsessed with understanding the mechanics of the mind, the fabrics of reality, everything, understanding everything. And so this is my number one thing. I spend an awful lot of time just doing this, and this excites me, that makes me happy, that helps me, that invigorates me. Now, having said that, I also enjoy spending time with my dog, with my husband. I enjoy spending time in parks, in nature, walking, meditating, being mindful. I enjoy music. I love music. I love Glastonbury. I go to Glastonbury every year. And this year I've got my ticket again. I love animals, I love food, I don't know, sort of things. I love training. I train a lot. I train for strength. And yes, but the main thing is that I'm generally obsessed with exploring more the depth of my mind and understand things so that I can keep growing and keep sharing this information. I'm working on a book, and hopefully at some point I'll be ready to take things to the next level. Six offender, yes I did. Brother, love from India. Thank you. Ronan, I deal with anxiety, depression, and addiction. Okay. So are there questions you want to ask me about this? Those are my specialisms. I actually specialize in anxiety, depression, addiction of any type and intensity, self-sabotage, and anger issues. Those are my 5 big specialisms. I used to be addicted myself, and I have a lot of conditions, and now I'm teetotal, I'm balanced, and that's why I'm here. It's karma payback. But I really understand all of those things in great depth. So ask me anything. Gatak Gamer. Hey, Via, my friend, had the same issue, and one day he peed in his pant. Control you pee when you're anxious. So I don't know if it's serious or not. I'm going to leave it for now. But again, guys, please be kind. This is a place that I want to be safe for everyone. So if I see anyone who comes with the wrong spirit, they won't be welcomed anymore. Tucker, where are you from? I was born in Paris, France. My genes are Chinese, and I live in the UK, in London. Chelsea, yes, I also deal with depression. Okay. Chelsea, this is a good channel. Thank you, Ronan. Chair or walk? I am stuck. I have plans to be creative and make art, but I quit a while back. Years, decades even, and procrastinate and get stuck. A lot. Overwhelmed, but I'd like to find a way to get engaged. Okay, so for you, so this is a good thing that you have an awareness that you like your creativity, your art. And there's a part of you that remembers that when you used to do art or be creative, you felt better about yourself. And so what I would suggest you is to take the pressure away. You can do it again, but it doesn't have to be perfect. Let's say, I don't know what sort of art you are thinking about, but if it's painting, you don't need to have your whole thing ready with your colors and everything, because it seems like a big thing to organize. You don't need to be, it can be anything at all. You can start with just a piece of paper and a pen and just draw some things. And it doesn't have to be perfect, it doesn't have to be good, it's just you expressing yourself. Right? Creativity is very important tool to address depression and anxiety. Neuroscience have demonstrated that the part of the brains that are creative are disengaging the part of the brain that are anxious. So when you are creating in that moment, you're literally not able physiologically, from a neuroscience perspective, to feel anxiety because you are stimulating so many parts of the brain, and anxiety is not needed for that. Right? And so what I'd say is, do things for the doing, for the pleasure, for the healing, for the therapy, for the being in a better place, not for the thing, not for the art, not and make it easy on you. Again, you don't have to have a whole installation, a whole room ready for you so that it's perfect. It's just about you doing something, anything. Creativity can be applied in everything. It doesn't have to be with art. It can be being creative into how you're going to rearrange your clothes, creative in how you're going to cook something, creative into how you're going to solve a problem. Creativity is just about stimulating your imagination and trying to see things from a different place, different perspective. That's it. And so, when you say I quit, it seems very dramatic. It's like, it was a big thing, it's all or nothing. That's why I'm saying the best way to deal with those things is for you to go at it one baby step at a time. Just do something, not a lot, just for the fun, anything. Again, some drawings. I don't know if you do some sculpture, if you have some Play-Doh, anything, it doesn't matter. It's about you stimulating some part of the brain that you have not stimulated in a long time. And eventually, as you become better at doing those little things, you will be able to take it to the next level, organize more space and time and buy some stuff perhaps so that you can do this art, right? And eventually, bang, 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 you will be creating a system to help you not only feel better about yourself, but potentially you could make a career out of it. You could do something out of it. Mike Rosenthal, me too, it's rough. Okay, do you want to talk about whatever is the roughest for you? Mahi edits. Hi, can you see my comment? Yes, I can. So just so you know, guys, this is live, but I'm a bit slow when it comes to the comment. I'm a bit behind. It's 4:15. 4:15 UK time, and it's Saturday afternoon. So I will read every of your comment, every single one of your comments, unless it's racist or silly, in which case I will block the people. But other than that, I will address every single one. So please, just bear with me. Mike, this dude looks like he has a good soul. All right, this dude, thanks you. This dude's ego is very happy about this. Thank you so much, Mike. Chelsea, because I'm a mom of two and I am married, but he always tells me how he feels. But when I talk to him, he doesn't want to understand how I feel. So I bottle everything up and I feel like I have no one to talk to. You know, you need to break that dynamic. So basically, whatever happens between you and your husband is something that you have both together. It's vastly happening at a subconscious level, but it's actually you have attracted someone in your life that correlated with the idea of the people that you believe you deserve. And he has attracted someone in his life that correlates with the idea of who he deserves in his own life. And now you are repeating the dynamic of your past. Him, his, and you, yours. And it's all happening at the subconscious level. But now, basically, you are not able to express yourself uh, because maybe you are not able to express yourself when you were younger. And because you've done this for a long time, it has become your natural dynamic. So it's not your husband's fault, 100%. It's 50-50. He has his own baggage, you have yours, and you are both enabling some habits of the past to repeat themselves together. It's like a dance that you used to dance, and you have found the right partner for you, and he has found the right partner for him. But what you want to do is to realize all of it and change the dynamic. So how do you change that dynamic? By changing the way you interact with him. You can sit down, you can speak to him, you can say, you know what, this has been going for a long time, but I'm not happy about this. I'm realizing some things about us, so I would like us to talk about those things. So now the tricky bit is that he may react to it and say, no, don't be nonsensical, and then try to shut you down furthermore. If that happens, then you may have to make some choices, or you may have to learn how to set boundaries. Right? But you don't want to allow this to happen anymore because it's hurting you, and it's not even good for him either, because it's not allowing him to change and be a better person. And so, if you can, I would say, try to speak to him, sit down, say, this is very important to me. I care for you, and I know that you care about me, and I'm feeling very bad. I need you to help me. As a start, don't attack him. If you attack him, he's going to go on the defensive mode. It's going to lift the shield, and it's going to be impossible to get inside of him, right? This is very common for a lot of people, but especially with men who grew up in a patriarchal society, toxic masculinity, protection, defend, win, that sort of things. And so come from a place of more like, I need you to help me, so that he feels empowered. What can I do to help you? I'm the man, I do everything. So I need you to help me, and I feel terrible. I think we need to learn how to reconnect at an emotional level. And so you may have a positive response and learn how to heal together, right? But if he reacts very, very badly to it, then you have to set your boundaries. You have to choose yourself. So this is very challenging because there's a part of you that is going to say, let's stick to it. This is what we know. We want to stay safe. It worked so well for so many years. I'm not that happy, but no one is that happy. So I must accept that this is what I deserve. This is all that I can have in my life. But if you do that, you will suffer furthermore. What you want to do is to Put yourself first. I deserve to be happy. I deserve to be seen. I deserve to be heard. I deserve to be supported. I deserve to be accepted for who I am. And so tell him, this is who I am. I'm going to speak up my truth. And I need you to listen to me. I need you to pay attention. I need you to make an effort. Show me that you're making an effort. Maybe we can go to therapy together. Maybe we can do some things together. But if you don't do this, then I would do that. So what? I don't know. It's for you to come up with something, but you need to basically create a system that teaches you how to prioritize yourself first. And it's not going to be easy, but this is the path. But it's possible. Because your husband may actually realize that indeed he always wanted to work on himself, and maybe you're going to give him an opportunity to do just that. You can do it together. A lot of couples do this. Right? I hope it makes sense. Ask me more. Ask me more if you want. Chelsea, okay, I read that. Joseph, what kind of meds make you balanced? I got ADD and depression, and drinking a problem for me. I don't do medications. It's not my scope of practice. I'm not a psychotherapist. But also, I don't believe in them. I understand that there's a place and time for everything. So for some people, some medications can help them, but they never fix the problems long term. And so I think it's much better to address the root cause of our problems instead of taking some stuff to cover things up. I used to be addicted myself to class A drugs and alcohol for 38 years of my life. And so this is not something that I condone. Thank you for the heart. Chelsea, and yes, it is a good channel. Thank you. Gatak, bro, anxiety is just to bullshit people. Well, okay, so I'm going to get rid of that. A report first. Okay, reported. Because this is very, very, very toxic to some people. So remove, ignore Gatak. So guys, this is how we get rid of trolls. Online or in real life, we just create a space. We don't need to give them attention. We don't need to react to them because they come from a different place. They have bad intention. They don't want to have a conversation. They just want us to react because there are people who suffer and they're lonely and they don't know what to do else but to get some reactions from others. And I understand this. I'm not even judging them because I used to be like that. I've got conditions like borderline personality disorder. And if you go through a lot of depression and you're very angry, you kind of believe at some point that the only way you can interact with people in the world is to get them to react to you. And so that's why there's so many people who are trolling people on the internet. It's a way for them to let go of their own negative energy. However, we don't want this here. And, and so how do you deal with people like that who are going through those sort of things? Just ignore them. Don't give them a chance to hook you up. Don't react. It doesn't matter. We all have a different journey. And, so let me go. Where am I? Joseph. I've been to recovery centers and meds like Suboxone help for my addiction, but drinking hard to stop. So this is a big topic. If you talk about medications, I cannot help you. What I would suggest to address the reasons as to why you need to drink. Drugs cannot help you for an addiction because drugs are another addiction. It's like saying, I've burned my hand, it's very painful. I know what to do. I mean, to hit myself so I don't feel the pain here. It's not going to fix much over time. Chuck Norris, English is hard. Ignore, we can ignore people. So let me get rid of this again, remove. Chair or walk. And we need to remove this as well. I'm not sure what it means, but it seems out of place. Chair or walk. Thank you. I really like your advice. Gonna force a jog and be creative with it. Fantastic. So don't force a jog. Think about, again, always make it easy on you. Put your trainers on, put your favorite music on, and let's just go for a walk. It's nice and sunny at the moment. I don't know where you are, but in the UK it's becoming much nicer. So just go for a walk, and as you listen to the music, you may be able to speed up and run a little bit, jog a little bit, and then walk and jog and walk. It's about enjoying what you do. And eventually, if you do it for a while, and if you liked jogging in the past, then you can jog, but you don't have to. Just going out and walking, listening to music, and enjoying the fresh air and the sun and the birds and the bees and the trees, just that is more than enough to really, really help you, right? Make it easy. Don't think I'm going to force a jog. Don't force anything. Allow a walk that may turn into a jog. Chuck Norris. We have another one. Remove. Every, let me guess. A Chinese heavyweight. I'm going to ignore. Louis, hello. I have ADHD and I really struggle. Let me remove. And I really struggle with sleep and bringing my mind to rest. Do you have any advice on this issue? If so, thank you. And I really enjoy your content. Thank you so much, Louis. So it depends. With ADHD, many of us, we actually prefer to be awake at night because of all sort of reasons. So there's one thing that may be one of the reasons why you find it difficult, but it seems that a lot of us with ADHD, because we are overwhelmed by noise, people, by judgment, we create an association with nighttime being a nice place to be. At night we can think, we can concentrate, we can create some stuff, we can feel safe. And so because of that, when we do this over a long period of time as a child, our body is going to adapt and develop accordingly. And so what it means is that nighttime, when most people will create the hormone of, I think it's melatonin, to relax and to feel sleepy, we're going to create cortisol and adrenaline to be awake. Because our subconscious mind, our body, has understood that night is better than day. And now, chemically, hormonally, we are high-wired. And so there's that to take into consideration. And so what I'd say is that, number one, the one thing that we want to realize with ADHD is that to prevent the symptoms of ADHD to flare up, we must minimize our exposure to stress. We must minimize our exposure to anxiety. We must minimize our exposure to overwhelm. And so it's a bit of a vicious circle because we want to minimize overthinking, but our brain cannot stop thinking. But there are ways around it. We can choose better thoughts. We can practice mindfulness and meditation. Right? We can let go of our energy by going to the gym, by running, by dancing, by doing things that are going to allow us to physically let go of that build up of energy. There's a lot of things that we can do, but essentially what I'm trying to say is that you want to address your lifestyle and your environment. Minimize your exposure to stress and anxiety so that it doesn't flare up as much. Your inability to sleep at night, I mean. But also create a plan. So you need to have something that you're excited to wake up about. You're excited to do in the morning. So you can't sleep, but if you had something very important to do the next day, something that you love, then your mind will wake you up then. And if you stay awake and you keep this doing for a few days and you minimize stress and you practice ice bath and meditation and all of those things, breath work, all of those things will help you regulate your nervous system and have your ADHD symptoms flare less, right? This is the thing. Whatever that we have is exacerbated by our environment. Thank you for the heart. So this is what people don't realize. One of the best ways to minimize our inability to focus or executive dysfunction, all of those things, is not the ADHD. It is our body and our mind responding to our environment. We're feeling overwhelmed. We're feeling stressed out. We're feeling unhappy. So we want to address all of those things first, right? And then next, have a plan. So if you need to wake up early, make sure that you are doing something that you enjoy. And tell your mind, I'm really looking forward to this. Do some meditation where you're going to visualize yourself waking up in the morning, getting yourself ready, looking excited about doing that thing. Now, that's the tricky thing. If you don't like it, it's going to be very difficult, nearly impossible for you to do this. So you need to upgrade your lifestyle so you do something that can really, really stimulate you and give you a proper, real reason to wake up in the morning. If you just want to wake up in the morning early and go to bed early, it's just because you want to be normal and to be synchronized with everyone. And this is not a good enough reason as far as your mind is concerned, right? And so you have two alternatives. Either do everything that I said and create a real motivation, excitement, stimulation, so that every morning your mind wakes you up. You will wake up automatically. And over time, you will create those new neural pathways in your brain, and it will become easier and easier. Or accept that it's maybe easier for you to do things at night. Some people are writers, some people do things at night, and they function much better then. So it's not all this or that, it depends. It's about you finding a solution that works best for you. Does it help, Luis? Joseph, I hit like fam. Thank you so much, Joseph. Chelsea, thank you so much. Serving my Redeemer. Thanks again, Sensei Ken. Thank you. Somewhere on a beach. I don't have medication. It messed up. 4 hours of sleep at the appropriate time, 1 hour awake, and then go back to sleep for 4 more hours. Repeat this process for 1 week. So this is your system. I think you're recommending your system. I don't know, guys, try, but I don't know if it will work because we're all vastly different. And when it comes to sleep, there's so much more than what we think there is. Right? It's really a deep subject. And I know this because I have a lot of problems as well all my life. And so it may work for some people, but whatever that you're suggesting is only your experience, right? So thank you for sharing your experience, but I need everyone to know that it's only your experience and it may not work for anyone. If it works, fantastic. If not, it's also, it was very probable. Somewhere on beach. I had to stay up for 18 hours to make sure I could get sleep because I could not get sleep when I tried. Is that what you're saying? I don't understand. I'm confused. Are you suggesting a solution or are you sharing your problem? Let me try again. I don't take medication. It messed me up. 4 hours of sleep per time, 1 hour awake. Sleep. I know it's not a solution. You are sharing your problems, right? You've been through that for 1 week. Okay. So whatever that your patterns of sleeping disorders are about, we want to know more about you somewhere on a beach. So do you suffer from anxiety, depression, trauma? Do you have any conditions? Are you under a lot of stress? Did something very, very traumatic happen to you lately? Did you lose someone dear to you? Has your lifestyle completely changed? Have you moved from a place to another? Those sort of things I need to know. Chelsea, but I have to go. Have a nice day. Thank you. Have a nice day, Chelsea. Thank you so much. See you next. I'll be back next Saturday, sometime around the sort of time. So thank you. Ilias Bartal. We have another racist here. So I'm going to report hate speech. Okay. Report hate speech. Okay. Somewhere on a beach. If you have ADHD and you have hard time sleeping, put on a very monotone. Okay, so you were suggesting something. Put on a very monotone. So this will not work for everyone. So again, thank you for this. It may work for some, but it may actually annoy more of some of us. You know, some of them, some people may actually get angry at that monotone documentary and concentrate on that, and you will fall asleep. So guys, try this. It's a suggestion from somewhere on a beach, but realize that if it doesn't work, it's okay. There are other things that you can do. Caroline, hello Caroline. If I'm having social anxiety and had childhood trauma and bullying, I get tense from being around others. It helps me to not interact with others and just watch and be around people because it feels so new to me and a lot of energy to give. If I speak a lot, it feels enough to see and be around a lot of movement. Okay, let me try to understand this comment. So you're telling me about you, right? So you're saying that basically you had a lot of childhood trauma that creates social anxiety. But the way that you deal with it is to be around but not interact with them and just watch. Okay, so why not? Yes, it's a first step. A lot of people can't even do that. So yeah, expose yourself, go around, observe people, and eventually you will take it to the next level, hopefully, and you'll be able to talk to them in some ways, in some capacity. Epic game, bro. How to learn a new thing? How to learn a new thing? Let me try to understand that question. By it's not about. I think it's the wrong question. It's not about how to learn a new thing. I think what you're trying to say is, correct me if I'm wrong, but what is the best way to learn, right? Because there's a lot of ways we can learn, and we all know some ways. But the best way to learn anything would be to find joy in the process. If you enjoy what you're doing, you're going to learn much, much better, much quicker, because your brain is going to be functioning on a different mode. Uh, Instead of resisting some new information, it's going to be excited by it. And this is one of the posts that I've done on TikTok that went a little bit viral. And essentially, is the idea that the more you enjoy what you do, the more brain power you switch on, the better your memory. So the numbers, there are a lot of different numbers, but the numbers that I suggest in that post is that it normally takes 400 repetitions for a new habit to be formed in the brain. And what it means is for the habit to be automatic. Right? However, if we do it in play, if it's fun, if it's something that we love, that we enjoy, it takes about, I don't know, 20, 50 repetitions, right? So much, much less. And we all understand this instinctively because when we enjoy doing something, we remember things, we learn very quickly, we become very good at it because we enjoy it. There's no resistance. And so that would be my advice. Choose things that you really, really enjoy, that you're excited about. But if you want to learn something that is not exciting, it's a whole different question. There are systems around it, but is it what you want to know? I think it's better to really understand how to make things playful for you. Either, most importantly, choose things that you do love, but there's also a way that you can make it more playful. Right? You can change your mindset about it. Instead of thinking, oh, I've got all the things to do, I hate it. Break it down in a little chunk and make it like a game. You know what, I'm going to do this for 20 minutes and I'm going to take my time and there's no pressure, there's no deadline, and maybe this could help you learn things much better. There are a lot of different ways. I don't know if you remember an old program on television called Sesame Street, and basically there was a lot of singing. They would be singing some mathematics stuff or geography, history stuff. And basically, this is another thing. If you sing something because your brain thinks that you're enjoying what you're doing because you're singing, then it's going to retain much, much, much easier. I don't know, the chemical table or any of those things. I think there's a song about this. And so yeah. So that's one of the answers that I give you today about this. But if you want to ask me more, be more specific, please. Caroline, what can I think or how to make it easier? Think that I'm safe. Just 1 second, please. Alfie. I need to check on my dog every now and then. He's very, very old. So what can I think or how to make it easier? Think that I'm safe. I am all empty of energy when I get home from too much impressions from my surroundings. Could you make it a bullet question? Because I'm a bit confused here. Could you make a bullet point question about your problem? Nice and concise, please. And I will remember everything that you've written and put it all into context. Because at the moment, I don't really understand. Yes, repeat it for me, please. Somewhere on a beach. I quit drinking, I quit smoking, cold turkey, and now I try to live a healthy lifestyle. So I've been trying to do what they did back in the early 1900s. It seems to work. Okay, if you have a system that works for you, good on you. Good on you. I have an overactive metabolism now for some reason. So it's hard to sleep mixed with ADHD. I'm trying to find a way to put and destroy the past and start fresh to change my mindset. haven't, sorry, okay. So basically, just based on what you said, I mean, something jumped out, and you don't want to destroy your past. What you want to do is to evolve from it. Right? When we try to change everything about ourselves or destroy our past, we are denying some part of us. We are being unkind to ourselves. We are repressing some part of us. But if we can accept that we are constantly evolving and changing and growing anyway, it's a much kinder way to look at ourselves. Mr. Trouble, best wishes to your dog. Thank you so much. And thank you for your effort to help us for free. You're awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah. I'm doing my bit. I'm glad you appreciate it. Thank you. I'm going to have a bit of coffee. My throat is a bit dry. Caroline, I get easily overstimulated when I'm around other people and new surroundings. Okay, how can I make it easy for me and ease for me from being overstimulated? Maybe don't go out, because if you have ADHD, like me, for instance, it may happen, right? So it's not don't go out. Scrap it. Check how you feel and change your mindset. And so there's some days where it may be too much. There's some days where it's going to be okay. You want to note what other places, what other people, what other situations, what gets you feel more stressed out than others. And so maybe go in places where it's quieter. Make sure that you are in some rooms where people are also quieter and nicer. Have a break from the crowd when you are at the office or wherever you are. Go for a break so you have a sensory, how do you say, deload. For some of us, it's going to be what we feel, because we are all, when we are neurodivergent, we'll be masking subconsciously and automatically. And so that will create a lot of stress that accumulates. Right? So again, we can learn how to do those things over time, but right here and now, we must accept that you have your limitations. And so what it says, find out what are the strategies that you could put into place. Remember, I always talk about emotional triggers, lifestyle, and environment. This is environment. Find out when and where and how it's going to be easier on you. Use earphones with noise cancelling. Sometimes they can help you to not being overwhelmed. It's all subconscious. If there's a lot of noise, a lot of people, that can be very stressful, even if you don't think about it, right? So be aware of all of those things. And then on the side, work on maybe changing how you see yourself in the world. That can actually have some effect, because we're not just this or that. We are both. So yeah. Address your stress. So lifestyle. Do you eat well? Do you sleep well? Do you exercise? Do you spend time in nature? Do you meditate? Do you do things that make you happy? Do you do creative things? Do you socialize with people that you enjoy? You know, do you pet a dog or a cat every now and then? All of those things are what you can do. Do you practice yoga? Right? Because again, we're not just a body or a mind or a soul. We are the whole of it. And so any aspect of our life impact all the other aspects of our life. Somewhere, Caroline, I'm the same boat as you. Caroline, I enjoy being by myself, so it becomes too different from what I'm used to. I know I have social anxiety and childhood trauma. Yes, headphone helps. But there you go. Create some strategies, some plans, right? I was sharing in the past how when I go to the gym, I always have my earphones with noise cancelling. And before I had them, because the ones that I had before were not very good, I would take with me literally my earmuff. So I don't know where they are, but I have some big earmuff. I would take to the gym, and if I felt that it was too much, if there were too many angry blokes slamming their weight, I would put them. And just like that, back in heaven. Sometimes we have to understand our limitations, but realize that your hypersensitivity can be also a superpower when you're using it in the right place, in the right way. People who are hypersensitive, they're also more creative. They can think out of the box, they can hyperfocus, they can see things that other people cannot see. And this is very, very important to so many things. I'm coming to the end of the thread. It feels a bit more lonely without the chores, but quieter, nicer. I shouldn't say lonely, not at all. So guys, it's 5:15 in the UK. I'm happy to stay another 15 minutes if you have things that you'd like to ask me. And then I will resume my day. What I can do, I can read up again some of my TikTok posts and explain them if you want. I put a post yesterday, I think, that went quite well, surprisingly. It's a very simple one, and it goes like this. Compassion is the ultimate form of intelligence, because it is an intelligence that knows no fear. And somehow that resonated with a lot of people. So I'm happy with this. Some people tell me about intelligence, and we don't realize that there are different forms of intelligence. Your IQ is only one type of intelligence. When it comes to IQ, people think about mathematical intelligence or literary intelligence, but there are only two very specific types of intelligence. There are plenty of many more. And to me, compassion is the ultimate one. We can feel what others are feeling. If we can feel what others are feeling, we can be in their shoes, we can understand them at the deepest level of being a human being. And so, yeah. Caroline, yes. Caroline, why does people want others to do or think the way they do? Sorry about that. I'm going to answer this, but my watch just told me to put out my next TikTok post of the day. So just bear with me 1 second, please. You get overwhelmed because your efforts don't match your priorities. Okay. Imagine that. Done. Sorry about this. Thank you. Yes, people want others to do or think the way they do because they need a confirmation that their system is valid. So basically, they need to have a confirmation that they understand the world, and everyone must agree with them to reinforce that idea that it's a good system. So what is the system? I must be safe. The world is bad. There are bad people and there are good people. And so if I do the good things, if I do the right thing, then I'm a good one. And everyone who are not agreeing with me, they are bad and they must be punished. And so when people are not following their belief, then they're going to react to them and try to convert them, to convince them, or to punish them. It's a fear thing. The less fear we have, the more we allow, because it doesn't make any difference to us. Right? I understand that we are all different, and everyone believes all sorts of different beliefs. And there are some people with whom I can help open their mind and expand their understanding of the world. But I'm also very well aware that the majority of those people, I can't do anything about it. And it's not for me to do anything about it, because if I'm trying to teach them what I know, I am trying to control them, to convince them, to change their mind, to get them to abide by my truth. And that would be just as bad as anyone else. And so I'm going to allow anyone to go through their own journey and show gratitude and compassion. And when they can change, then I'll be there to hopefully give them a little bit of insights to help them cross that path and change the direction of their life. But for a lot of people, we are all living in a bubble. We all have a belief system or set of baggage or set of emotional triggers, and we all live on automatic pilot. This is one of the biggest aspects of us that we don't talk about enough. There's no such thing as free will for the vast majority of us. The vast majority of our days are operated on automatic pilot. It's all subconscious. Everything that we do, everything that we think, everything that we choose is all down to how we feel. And how we feel is down to our childhood and our upbringing, and it's got nothing to do with choice. So we're just continuing what was always meant to happen. Now, there are exceptions. When we look inside of us, we slow down. When we stop reacting to the world outside of us and going through the rat race, in those moments we have free will. But they are very rare. They are not for everyone. But there are the moments when we can actually change. Like we do this in therapy and healing. People look inside of them. We do it in meditation. People pray. So there are different ways of praying. Some people pray, and they may be able to do this as well when they are praying. But also when we're just self-reflecting. Now, in those moments, we have free will, because we're no longer caught into the momentum, into that train of thought that is ongoing, that train of emotions and feelings that started the moment we were born. But yes, people want to control others and to have the last word because they're scared, they're fearful that they may lose control of this world. And if they lose control, anything may happen to them. The opposite of that is to realize that we are supported by the universe. There's no divide. The division is an illusion. If you can realize that we're all the same, we're all one big mass of energy, so again, it depends on your belief system, but this is what I believe, then we can allow for the world to be the world. We can do our best to do what we feel is right for us to do. But at the same time, we don't want to reject or react or to condemn others, right? Because they are them, we are us, and we're all going through our journey, and we're all doing our best, no matter what we're going through, no matter how we're coming across to others. Tanuki. Oh, so we meet again. Hello, Tanuki. McCarthy says hi. Hello. So I'm going to stay maybe another 8 minutes. If you want to ask me anything, now is the time. I can extend a little bit if a lot of people ask me questions, but it seems a little bit quiet now. So yes, Caroline, did you find interesting what I have to say about your question? But it's a very good question. We want to really remind ourselves that we are all experiencing our journey and reality, and the more we can do this, not only it becomes easier to have empathy and compassion and patience for others, but also we are more able to self-reflect and change some aspect of how we feel about ourselves, about our past, about the things that happened to us. It's never about the things that happened to us, it's about how those things impacted us. And how those things impacted us is down to our interpretations of those things. And so if we can change our interpretation by upgrading the belief that we have about ourselves, then we won't need to carry our past like a burden and still suffer from it and still believe that we are our past. Caroline, oh yes, because my sister thinks you have to have a man, and it is important to her, but everybody else thinks the same. But I did not understand because she struggles with it at home doing the most. Okay, so yes, so some people will be like that. And essentially, the more people are trying to convince others, the more they're actually trying to convince themselves that the system works. Right? And one example is people who are trying to convert others into their religion. So the example that I see a lot on TikTok is Christians who are talking about Jesus and Bible all the time. So not all Christians, some, some who are obsessed, and they talk to strangers all the time about Jesus, 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 repent, Jesus love you. And to me, what it displays is that they don't really believe in it. That's why they need to have more people. If you, a spiritual experience is personal and comes from the inside out. You can't force anyone or get anyone to get in. It's something that will happen to you or not, based on your journey. And so when people are trying to convince others that their religion is the true one and yours is rubbish, they're not doing it for divine purpose. They're doing it because out of fear. It's a tribalism thing. They do it because they need to make sure that their tribe is bigger than the other one. So they need to get more people. And from a psychological perspective, at a subconscious level, they're doing this because they want to reassure themselves. They repeat it. They are hypnotizing themselves to believe that truth. I've got a system. It's got to work. Otherwise, without that system, everything will go all over the place. That's why a lot of time, highly religious people will say that without religion, society will be chaos. And it's not true. They have been conditioned to believe that morality is taught by religion only. It's part of the program. But because of that, that's also why they need to make sure that everyone shares that same system of religion. Otherwise, no one will have morality, and everyone will be killing and raping everyone everywhere in the street all the time. And it's just nonsense. But they believe that. So they live in fear because of the way they have been taught with religion, sadly. Again, it's not about the religion. It's about the people who are going to use religion to control other people with fear. And so, yes, so your sister Caroline is trying to get you to think and agree the same system because she's so scared. She doesn't understand. She wants for a system to work for her. So at a subconscious level, if there are more people to back up the system, she knows that she's going the right way, even if it's still not working for her. At least she knows that it's a system, and all she got to do is to keep going. Mac McCarthy, my wife tried to kill me. She held me down as her boyfriend stabbed me over and over in the face and the heart. How do I deal with this? I'm not with her anymore, but we have a son that is 3. Gosh, that's heavy. You get the law involved. You make sure that she's got a restraining order, that she has no access to you or the child, and then you look after your child, and you do a lot of therapy to get over your own trauma, because that must have been traumatic, right? Does that answer your question? Did you do this? Or is there something else? Wayne Kerr, I have fibromyalgia and sometimes I get it on my shoes. I don't know what it is. Is it a joke? Is it true? Is it serious? Let me Google it. Fiber. There's no such thing as fibromyalgia, I'm afraid. Is it a joke? Please don't. I'm using that space to help people with mental health and relationship problems, so please be kind. Unless you are serious, but rephrase it so that I can understand what you have. Pamela, the world feels like it's on fire. Yep. And all the injustice, selfishness, greed, etc. feels so defeating. I'm having a difficult time not being paralyzed with hopelessness. Any thought? Okay, spend less time looking at the world the way that you're looking at the world. The world is the world, and whatever that you look for, your mind will seek more confirmation of what you already believe. And so if you believe that the world is in a terrible state, then all you're going to see is that. If you look at the news, it's designed for that. So keep away from the news. Give yourself a break from the news. Give yourself a time limit. Maybe every day, spend 5 minutes checking up what's going on and then move away. But if you watch TikTok or any other news channel, that will reinforce those beliefs that you have about being helpless in a very hostile world. The world is what it is. The world will be to you how you look at it. The world is not all bad. There are a lot of good things about the world. And so if you just focus on the good things, you may realize that the world is full of good people. The world is full of nice things happening. And even despite the horror and the bad things happening, there are a lot of people fighting back. And this is beautiful to witness, right? And so there are different ways to look at it. You want to realize that your perception of the world, your experience of the world, the way that you feel about yourself in the world is down to your mindset, your perspective, your set of trauma. And so if you haven't addressed your own, we react to things because we have inside of us some wounds that are reactivated, right? When I see something that is sad, if it affects me, it's not because it's sad. It's because inside of me, I have had that experience and I remember how it felt. And so it's reactivating that inside of me, and now I'm feeling sad now that I'm seeing that thing. If I get angry at something, it's not because of what is happening there. It's because inside of me, I have that wound, I have had that situation, and the way I have learned to deal with that situation was through anger. So now I'm getting angry to protect myself. And so whatever that you feel is always a reflection of how you are feeling in this moment and the type of mindset and heart set that you have in this moment. And so what I'm trying to say is that I'm not trying to dismiss your experience. It's very true. I've been there myself. Since October the 7th, I've been very, very down emotionally because so much things, so much horror we've been through. But I have learned how to distance myself from the news and only watch it sporadically and do my best to focus on other thoughts, entertain my mind with other thoughts that lift me up, that make me feel better about myself. So for me, it's easy. I focus on my work, and that's that get me in different places, 100%. But you want to realize that the world is not just that. There's a lot of beautiful things in the world every day. There are a lot of beautiful people. There are a lot of. I believe that there are more people who are in a good place than not. But the news, they don't want you to know this, so they're only going to show the bad stuff. And also, when there are bad stuff happening, they need to be shown a lot so that some people can take action to fight those bad things back, right? So ask yourself, if you can do something to deal with a situation, do it. If you cannot do anything about it in that moment, let it go. Thinking about it will not make it better. It's only going to create more stress and despair. And so, yes, so the world is on fire in certain places, but it's not all on fire. And the places that are on fire, if you want to help out, ask yourself, if I can do something, what can I do about it right here, right now? And if there's nothing you can do, move on. Leave it to another day. Come back to it some other day. You may be able to do something if it's really important to you. And if not, move on. Focus on your life. Focus on the people who are close to you, that matter to you. Focus on the things that you are creating that are important to you. Instead of focusing on the world where you have no power over. Focus on the things that you do have a power over, the things that you have an input, the things that stimulate you positively, that empower you, that make you feel better about yourself. Does it make sense? No, I agree with you. It's true that the world is in terrible state of disarray. Yeah. But again, it's not the whole world. And even when I look at the state of the world, I look at the rebellion. I look at the resistance. I look at all those brave people who are standing up against the oppression and trying to do something about it. And to me, this is beautiful. Some of the most important change in society happen through chaos and a lot of unhappiness before you get to better. So zoom out, look at the bigger picture, and do your best to be optimistic and allow for the universe to do its job, and eventually things will get better at a global level. Right away, some people will suffer very big casualties. It's always the case. And so when it happens, focus on what you can do. Focus on your people, focus on your community, focus on your values, focus on the things that you can do. Okay? Does it help, Pamela? Caroline, okay. Matt McCarthy, yes, thank you. The crops labeled it as mutual battle. The cops, you mean? I've had to knock him out in order to stop him from stabbing me. No charge will be feared against her or him. And this is where you're wrong. You should charge them. You should, because if you don't charge them, if you said that you've been stabbed in the face and you don't charge that person, then they will come back at you and it will happen again. There's a reason why there's a law. I would absolutely charge someone who's trying to stab me in the face. Because if they can do that once, they can do more next. I believe that you will be sending the wrong message. Caroline, my sister wants to know her system is right or the one she was taught. The only system that works is the one that works for you. And so it's not this or that, It depends. A system works for individuals only. So find out what works for you. Listen to your intuition and create your own system. So as you do this, you may keep some element of the old one, you may upgrade it, change it a little bit, tweak it a little bit, or you might change it all together. It depends. Well, we're different. But we want to listen to your intuition, listen to your body, how you feel about things, and learn how to recalibrate, learn to readjust, learn how to change little bit by little bit. It's not this or that. But the main thing is to realize that there's not one system that works for all, because remember, there's no such thing as one universal truth. And so it's about us finding what works for us in this moment. Because even in our lives, the system will change. Because we change, because circumstances change. And so, yeah. So experiment and see. But remember to be flexible, to be open-minded, to be willing to let go of what doesn't work for you, what doesn't makes you happy or serves you. And recalibrate. Wayne, it made you laugh. How is that hurting people? What made you laugh? I don't understand, Wayne. It made you laugh. How is that hurting people? I don't understand. Are you serious? I know, I understand. The fibromyalgia, I don't know what it means. At this point in time, I don't really feel like it, but I want to give you a chance. But if you're a troll, you're not welcome here. If you want to talk about your problems as to why you feel the need to talk about silly things with strangers, we can address this, right? Again, I used to be a very different person in the past, so I understand. But I'm trying to create a safe space here for people, so please be kind. McCarthy, I spent time in mental hospital. Med don't help too strong. Adjust on my own at this point. I'm sorry to hear that. Keep coming back and ask me questions. I come here every Saturday afternoon, and I always do my best to give advice for free. So anything you want to ask me, and hopefully we can get to some improvement at some point. Hopefully, over time, I will get to know you better and I will understand more what I can suggest for you. Tanuki, watching the news once a week would be enough to be informed, but it's like a car accident. We can't look away. The reason why you can't look away is because you're scared. I can't miss anything. It could be very important, and that could be costly to my safety. That's the reason. And so what you want to do is to do things that stimulate you so that you're in a place of creativity and excitement, and you're not in that state of fear that needs to be on the lookout for the bad things before they happen. Right. Does it make sense, Tanuki? Caroline, I hope Alfie has a good day, that is good with him. Thank you for asking, Caroline. He's all right. He's stable for now. Lovely and very much loved as always. Thank you. Pamela, that makes so much sense. Thank you. Thank you, Pamela. GZ Airsoft, would you rather watch a tree grow or a knee groan? I don't understand. Please don't do this. I'm here to talk about mental health. I don't understand this. I have a sense of humor, but there's a place and a time for everything. Tanuki, I think it's a good thing to see the good little things, a nice flower, a friendly neighbor. Yes, so we're talking about being mindful. So yes, if you can practice mindfulness, this is precisely what it is. We're focusing and zooming on the beauty, on the niceness of things that exist in the now all the time. But it's for us to look in the right places. Right? If we look at the news, we're not going to see this. If you look at our past, the people that we're angry against, it's not going to help. But so there's a time and a place for everything. You want to work on yourself, but in this moment, we can always choose to look up and look at the clouds. I don't know. Enjoy the coffee in more depth. There's a lot of ways you can practice mindfulness and milk the goodness out of each moment through the practice of gratitude and mindfulness. Adver, message retracted. Tanuki, don't accept abuse and be good to yourself. I would agree with that for everyone. Yes, it's a good recommendation. We shouldn't accept abuse and we should be good to ourselves. Tiffany, what about me? What about you? Tanuki, what about you, Tiffany? Yes, what about you? Want to ask something? Reborn, when will you be back on TikTok? I'm not sure. So again, remember, with TikTok, I only do my best whenever I have the energy and the time. The only one live that I'm sure to make every week is this one. Saturday afternoon, YouTube. Like, I slept really little, I'm very tired, I've worked so much. Uh, but and I couldn't go live any more than once on TikTok this week. But I make sure that I'm here on Saturday on YouTube. Um, and so come back on YouTube for sure if you can. TikTok, I don't know. I really don't. I do my best to do it twice a week in the evening, but I can't tell you because I don't know it myself. My schedule is very very fluctuating. I have a lot of requests at the last minute, and so yeah. But thank you for your interest, and please keep an eye. You can ask me again on the videos on YouTube or TikTok, and if I have an idea, I can let you know. And if not, I will just say no. I don't know. Caroline, from my sister's standpoint, does she want to push her views onto me to reassure the system she was taught was the only way of the system to do? Yes, 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 yes. That's it. She's doing this because she needs to know that the system she's been taught works. Now she could learn a different system, but she needs to have the right mindset to do that. Very often we stick to the same system we've been given because there's an emotional attachment. It's the system that my parents taught me. It's the system that the people that I look up to, my community believe in. And so if I apply that system, I will be accepted by my parents and by my community. And that's the reason why they hang on to that system even if it's not working for them. But yeah, we want to expand our mind and try different things and choose a better system if it doesn't work for us. McCarthy, tips for PTSD. Will I sleep? It's hell. Such bad dreams. Wake up soaking in sweat and crying. You want to address your PTSD. You want to work on it. Seek some professional help, right? If you can't sleep, if you have nightmares, if you wake up crying or in sweat, I know that I had this all my life until I changed. This is a symptom of the CPTSD. When you sleep, your brain is trying to process what happened to you through your dreams, right? But because you're not giving it any output, it's just going on a loop, and then you're feeling the same as it happened back then. So tips for PTSD: find someone, find systems, protocols where you can learn about yourself and address the root cause of your PTSD. Is it PTSD or CPTSD? Reborn. Is practicing mindfulness more efficient in the morning or evenings? Is there any difference? Always, always. I mean, morning is certainly morning. It depends what you call the morning. Any time of the day, it's always a good thing to do because you want to essentially operate more from a mindful standpoint. So it's not something that you do. You want to take it to a skill that it becomes a habit every time, all the time in your life, right? But if you can do this as soon as you wake up, before you even get out of bed, now you actually, it's a way for you to program your brain for the day ahead. Right? So there are a lot of different things you can do. But if you can meditate, so it's a type of mindfulness in the morning, as soon as you wake up, if you can practice gratitude, if you can practice visualization, then you will tell your mind what you want to happen, and the first 20 minutes of your day when you just wake up, whatever goes into your mind tend to determine the direction of your day. And so if you can do this as soon as you wake up for 20 minutes, laying on your bed or sitting down and just think about, what am I grateful about, what do I want to do, what is important to me, what do I want to change, and visualize this for 20 minutes and really really be there. If you do it for 20 minutes every day, that will change the way you start the day and potentially your whole day. And I'm saying potentially because it depends on so many parameters, right? But it's not a bad thing to do regularly to become better at it. And you can do this. If you can do this every day for a month, you will change a lot of things. Joseph, I lost faith in my doctors when they said my substance abuse comes from the way I was raised, and being clean is so hard for me. Yes, the truth is that whatever that happened to us in adulthood is because of the way we've been raised, in some way or other, right? So it doesn't necessarily mean that our parents are all bad, but it's still to do with our upbringing and them being in that picture. And if being clean is hard for you, there's a way. Hopefully you will find it. I can't promise you that you will heal because nothing is guaranteed in life. But what I can tell you is that everything is possible. I used to be addicted myself for 38 years, like very, very badly. And I'm teetotal now, and healthy and strong and happy. But I used to be addicted to drugs and alcohol non-stop. Like I had a hangover. I was either hungover or high or drunk non-stop up to the age of 38. I was in a constant state. And I changed like that because I was able to address the emotional subconscious reasons as to why I needed to escape reality. I never wanted to feel reality ever. Tanuki, well, scrolling on was nice to see you again. Thank you so much, Tanuki. Have a good day. Have a nice weekend. Same to you. Lulu Adair. People don't like me, but I don't understand why. I just can't fit in. I've grown to hate myself, and I don't know how to make changes that will be positive to connect with people. Tired of being alone. Okay. I think you want to address your depression, right? The way that you talk about yourself and about people says that to me. If you say you don't understand why people don't like you, you actually answer a question in your comment. I have grown to hate myself. And so if you hate yourself, what are the chances that anyone is going to like you? You can't even like yourself. And so the solution to that is to find a way to reconnect with appreciating some aspect of yourself. And you do this through healing, through therapy, through self introspection work, through meditation, through all of those things. But you want to find a way to address the depression. It's not this or that, it's just that you have disconnected from something very important to you, and that has developed over time, that has been reinforced into that state where it's all dark, no one loves me, I hate myself, why? But it's just a habit. Everything about our lives are just habits. Habits of thought, habits of emotions, habits of behavior. And so what you want to realize is that whatever that you are going through now is only now because you've been doing it for a long time. And so just like with any other habit, you can replace an old habit with a new, better one over time and repetition. So you can learn how to do this. Find out how you can address your depression. But I want you to know that it's possible to change no matter what you're going through. I've been there myself. I used to hate myself. I used to hate people. I used to hate the world. I used to hate life. I used to hate everything. And now I'm the opposite. It's possible. Reborn. Often people ask about the photo of your parents. Out of curiosity, where was that picture taken? I'm not sure. I think it's in Hong Kong, I believe. Hong Kong. McCarthy. What is that? What is what? Blood Muffin. Did you meditate your eyebrows away? Ah, this is very nasty. Please, guys, so pay attention. This is what we call body shaming. It's not very nice. It's a type of bullying that people still do. It's like fat shaming, and it's very unkind because I could have conditions that gets me like that. But people can't help to criticize because that's what we've been taught to do, right? But we can learn how to be kinder. So what I'm going to do straight away, I'm going to report that person. Hate speech. That's it. So we deal with the trolls like that, online and in real life. But yes, it's a very good subject because people don't realize that we still body shame. And body shaming is not just about some things that are different, little things. So for me, it's my eyebrows. Some people may be very tall and they will always get some remarks. And we want to realize that if we are different, the way we come across, we know it. And it's kinder to not ask about it at first. But eventually, when you get someone better, when you get someone to know someone better, then you may ask. But yeah, body shaming, not very nice. Lulu, blood muffin being insulting makes me wonder why you crave attention. You okay? Oh, blood muffin, is that the guy who insulted me? Thank you, Lulu. I don't think he's okay, but he may not even realize this. But it's okay, because we all have a different journey. And again, people who are very mean to others for no other reasons than just to be mean, they do it out of hurt, out of loneliness, out of boredom. So I never take it personally anymore now. But yeah, the best way to deal with those sort of situations is to just move away from it. But thank you, Lulu. Joseph, I'm 32. Okay. Caroline, Mac McCarthy, just wanted to give a tip. There are guided meditations for PTSD. It is relaxing to listen to before bed. Thank you, Caroline. Thank you. Reborn, message retracted. Lulu, you give me hope. Thanks. Fantastic. Thank you, Lulu. Thank you. Yes, whatever that you feel, it's only now. Nothing lasts forever. Even if it seems like it's been like that forever, it may change. It will change in some capacities, right? But you can direct the direction of the change and speed up the process by doing the right thing. First thing, remind yourself that if you're still here, it's because there's a part of you that is hopeful. There's a part of you that believes that things can get better. Otherwise, you wouldn't be continuing being alive, existing on this planet, right? So there's a part of you, even if it's subconscious, that believes that there's something better that will happen for you. Hope. Reborn. If someone suffers loneliness, is it because he feels not likable? Is there a way on how to convert negative into positive perception? So how to convert, this is healing and growth. So there are many ways. This is what I do, right? Here. But once people suffer from loneliness, it's because they have one belief. They believe that they don't belong. Because of that, they feel lonely. Loneliness is not being alone. It's feeling lonely, whether you are on your own or whether you are surrounded by a crowd. Some people feel alone in a crowd. Some people feel alone in a loving family. They may have people who love them, kids, spouse, extended family, but they still feel alone because inside of their heart they don't believe that they belong. There's something wrong about them. And so it is that belief that must be changed when people are suffering from loneliness. Sincerely yours, you can be unlikable and it's fine. I agree. About different cases, different situations, and it's not about being unlikable. It's to accept that some people will not like us, and it's okay. Right? But some people will also like us, so we need to focus our attention on the right people. Sincerely yours, don't force yourself into being agreeable and appeasing to everyone's nature by your own. It's true. It's true. We never want to do this, indeed. But I don't know where it comes from. I don't think anyone has mentioned forcing anyone being agreeable. Not that I remember. Caroline, if one has a lot of knowledge, why people act and do things, is it easier to navigate in the world? But would we still get hurt? Or would we think more logical? Because we know why people act like that. Let me try to understand. It's a big bag of noodle. If one has a lot of knowledge, why people act and do things? If one has a lot of knowledge, why do people act and do things? I don't understand that. Is it easier to navigate in the world, but would we still get hurt? Or would we think more logical because we know why people are? I don't understand. My brain hurts. I'm sorry. I want to understand, but please make it simple for me. It's very difficult for me. I'm a bit tired as well. But this is my mind torture for me, Caroline. Please make it simple. What is your question? I don't get it. I want to talk about it, but I need your help, please. Reborn. That's essentially, perhaps, is that likable thoughts makes them feel lonely. I don't think it's that, Reborn. Sincerely yours. Yeah, you shouldn't care about being likable. Okay, we agreed on that. We don't want to be likable. We want to be liked by the right people. Caroline, would we not get affected from others as much? I still don't get it, because now I'm missing the first part. Sincerely yours, because then everything you do will be governed by someone else's acceptance. Okay, we're still talking about that, and I'm still agreeing, but I still don't understand where it's coming from. Bobby Hill, I have a strange question. Okay, Bobby Hill. Oh, let's see what it is. Caroline, I'm sorry it was a long text. Makes it more bullet points, please. Sincerely yours. Agreeable when I said it was pertaining to people just agreeing and accepting just to fit in and be perceived as like, yes, I agree, but I don't recall anyone mentioning it all throughout the conversation, unless I missed something. But I agree with that, of course. But I'm just trying to understand where it's coming from. Are you just sharing how you feel? In which case, it's okay. You know, why not? We're having a conversation, and yes, I do agree with you. Okay. Bobby Hill, you think you can take primary Bussy in a fight? Okay. Bobby, I'm going to remove you. Okay. It's not something that is offensive, but it's just something that is out of place, right? I'm here to talk about mental health, so please, guys, respect people. Only joke. Okay, no problem. Sorry. Thank you, Bobby. Thank you. I can take a joke, but it's very important for me to make sure that people feel that we are all on the same wavelength. Right? People talk about their trauma, people talk about their relationships and their grief, and it can be quite heavy. It's important to read the room and go along with that vibe. Thank you. Thank you. Pumpkin, hi Didi, how is your Saturday going? It's doing fine. Thank you so much, Pumpkin. How about you? And thank you again, Bobby, for the apologies. They are highly appreciated. Thank you. Sincerely yours. Lulu said people don't like them. I'm just explaining why they shouldn't be the focal point of life. Ah, okay, I understand. But it's not about that. Just the thing is that what I see from Lulu, is that they have a lot of depression-related problem. I can feel that, and so yeah, that maybe I understand. It's a conversation that can be had, but it's not just what I thought would be the most useful for me to say about her comment. I get it. Thank you. Sincerely yours. I get it. Caroline, if we know why people act the way they act, we understand why and the logic, okay? Will we then not be affected emotionally by others then? No. Because if we understand, there's no need for emotional reactions. Emotions are there to protect us through anger, sadness. They're getting us to either protect us when they are disempowering emotions or elevate us if they are positive. But they're there to tell us something that is important. If we understand it from a cognitive, intellectual perspective, we don't need the emotions to do this, right? And this is precisely one of the reasons why so many people are confused and suffer, because there's a discrepancy between those two minds. There are two different languages, and there's a time and a place for everything. When we understand, we can practice empathy. And if we can practice empathy by being in their shoes, we can practice compassion. When we practice compassion, we can practice healing and reconnection. And so this is why understanding the mind is so important. If we can do this, and that's what I'm trying to teach people here and wherever I'm online, and on the book that I'm writing about it, then really the world will be, life will be easier for everyone. Because we won't be taking things personally, we won't be reacting to things, we won't be believing that life is unfair, because we'll be able to understand the wholeness of it. And so when we understand, it's much easier. We don't need to react emotionally. We don't need emotions to protect us from what we don't understand. Does it make sense? Is that what you want to ask, Caroline? Sincerely yours. Most people are depressed. Many people are, And I would say it's an experience that we all have at least at some point in our life. But I don't believe that most people are depressed. I believe that there's a lot of people who are depressed in certain parts of the world at this point in time, because indeed, if you look at the situation in the USA, in the UK, in some part of Europe, it is a lot of problems, and in the Middle East, of course. But there are a lot of people from all sorts of the world that we don't, other parts of the world that we don't talk about, but are not depressed at all. They're very happy. So I'm thinking about China, for instance. A lot of people in China are very happy. Things are changing there. They've been changing for quite a little while now, and but no one talks about them. But there's a lot of people who are happy and not depressed. But it's true that in most Western societies, and especially at the moment, there's a lot of negativity, and I understand, I accept, I agree with you, I agree with you. Uh, but we don't want to think most people are depressed, because now we're going to normalize it. And the reason why I'm saying this is because whatever we normalize, we invite and allow more in our own life, in our body, in our mind, in our own experience. And so my job, I agree with you, but my job is to try to lift people up a little bit. So I don't believe that most people are depressed. I believe that people are fluctuating, and they're trying to find a way out of a place of unhappiness, anxiety, and depression, with different level of success, and we all fluctuate all throughout our life, especially in this Western world that I just mentioned. Would you agree with this? Sincerely yours? Reborn, sincerely, yes, we are. Okay. Lulu, for me, hard to connect with others. My mind is always in existential things, so I can't easily connect through things most people like to talk about. Even I feel drained by my mind and thoughts. Okay, I get it, I get it. So there's a lot of things, we're all different. My advice to you would be to seek some professional help, or at least invest a lot of time and energy into learning how to understand your mind and learning how to practice mindfulness. That would be my advice to you. It's a deep, deep, deep subject, and it's very different for every single one of us. At the moment, you have created a reality for you, and it's a system that is basically just happening. So what you want to do is to find a way to reprogram some aspect of that system. The first thing that you want to address is your self-talk. It's the way you talk to yourself. I believe that you are an overthinker, right? I'd say, you know what, just one advice for today. Invest time and energy into doing something that is stimulating and creative for you. Find something that you enjoy doing that involves creativity. And that will be the start of your journey to remind yourself that you have a power over how you feel. Just that. Try this. And stick with that channel and come back to me next week, next Saturday, and we can continue the conversation. But find something that you enjoy doing that involves creativity. And spend as much time as you can exploring that thing, just for the fun of it, and see what happens. Bobby Hill, on the topic of grief, I feel the lost one would want you to move on as fast as possible to be best for your life and live. Yes, I agree, absolutely. We tend to forget this, but indeed, the people that we are grieving, they would want us to move on. Absolutely. And that's a good thing to be reminded of, that can actually help us go through the different stages of grief better and faster. Just let me check again. Alfie. Sorry, guys. Okay, where was I? Sincerely yours. Right, being emotional is a choice of logic at times. Being emotional is not a choice when it happens. Well, the choice is about learning how to understand a different mind and learning the skill of choosing which mind to operate. But when it happens, we don't choose. right? Emotions are precisely something that we don't choose. It's subconscious. It's happening very quickly in our whole body. It's chemical reactions. But once it has happened, then we can decipher the message, we can learn about it, and after that, we can do some work to change the interpretation of how we feel. So that when it happens again, more and more so we can create a space between our emotions and we can be better at utilizing the right mind at the right time. I hope it makes sense. But when it happens, we cannot control our emotions. It's very important for me to say this because everyone has got this one wrong and suffer from this precisely. So maybe at times is what you mean, in which case we agree. It depends. It's a big conversation. Everything is very contextual. Melly, how can I build my confidence? By changing your inner dialogue. The reason you are not confident is because you have a voice in your head that keeps on telling you that you are not good enough. You're rubbish, you suck, you're going to fail, they're going to reject you, they're going to mock you, you're going to feel terrible once again, and you do this, and that's why you can't do things, you feel bad, you are not confident, because you keep on telling yourself those things. So what you want to do is to find a way to talk to yourself in an empowering way. I can do this. I don't care about what they think because they're only projecting their own insecurities. What they think and what they say has got nothing to do with me. I know who I am. I'm going to do my best. I'm going to do it for me. I don't care about what they think. I don't do it for them. I do it for me. So you can change your dialogue. It's going to take some work, some time, some learning how to do this, but this is what you want to do. The only reason you have a low self-confidence is because you keep on telling yourself that you are rubbish, that you suck, that you're not good enough, that you're going to be rejected. And so change the dialogue and tell yourself, I'm okay. Learn how to appreciate yourself again. Learn how to remember that you had many successes and achievements throughout all your life. Learn to remember that you have a power within you. And then test that power. Try different things, explore, and remember that indeed you can do a lot of things and you will be accepted by the right people. Does it make sense? Does it help, Melly? Pumpkin, I'm okay. I don't know how I feel most of the time. I'm glad we are talking about depression and healing. Okay, thank you. Lulu, I think the depression is probably true. So I get why people don't resonate. I thought I didn't care being alone, but after years I realized I don't want connection. Sorry, so much long. It's all right. If I understand the post, I don't mind that it's long. It's okay. Let's talk about this. Yeah. So you're having some level of self-awareness. You're going through a process. It takes time, and sometimes it takes years, and it's okay. You don't want to feel bad because of the way you feel or because of the years that you spent being depressed. This is our journey. We're all different. And we're all coming to this life to experience something else. And this is a part of your journey as a human being. So you have a problem, depression, some things to do with the past, some disconnection. And now your challenge is to find a way to overcome those things, to understand and to grow from those experiences from the past. Pumpkin, it's a big subject that should be talked about more often. Yes, indeed. I do a live on YouTube every Saturday afternoon, so please come back next week if you want to continue. I'm not going to last very long. I've been here for longer than I thought I was going to be, but I'm going to finish all the last questions. Caroline, oh, that was interesting. Yes, that is what I wanted to ask. Thanks, fantastic. Thank you, Caroline. Sincerely yours. Yes, and it's because they were forced to be depressed by programming. Intense emotional roller coaster created that. I'm not depressed either because I know who I am overall. It's more complicated than that. People are not programmed to be depressed. People are depressed because they're disconnected from something that is very important to them. And so we can be disconnected from our tribe, people, our community, our family. We can be disconnected from our purpose, things that we love. We can be disconnected from our emotions or feelings if we're repressed, if we can't express ourselves. We can be disconnected from so many things, and all those things are very fundamental to our human existence, experience. And so that's when we're depressed. The depression exists to tell us there's something you feel disconnected from, right? And so people are not forcing us to be depressed. Sometimes we observe our parents, and if one or both of them are depressed, we can also be depressed by learning through observation of them. We become them eventually. But it's more complex than that. It's not as simple, sadly. And I'm glad that you are not depressed. Caroline, in other lives, I will ask and learn more about this. It is interesting to learn about. Fantastic, thank you. Bobby Hill, I'm definitely depressed, but I want to live. If you add it, you add all possible outcomes. Yes, indeed, yes. If you add it, then you don't get to know what was the next thing. We're here to live an adventure. And so within each adventure, there's got to be ups and downs. Some of us, we had the downs from the beginning, so it feels like it's always been like that. But there will always be fluctuations. And the whole point of the journey of our life, of the story of our life, is to make it a story, is to overcome those things, is to grow from those things. Reborn, since we address depression, why is it that in Thailand or China, people look less depressed unlike our societies? Because society indeed is kinder to them. So in China, now, in the last, I don't know, 10 years or whatever, everything has changed, and they really, really have a system that is designed to optimize people being happy and getting along. So it's not perfect, nothing is perfect, but it's still a system that works very well. When we see the amount of people that there are, it's a big job, right? And so they've done very well. If you look at America and Europe, it's the opposite. It's capitalism. And so it's a system that is designed to manipulate and exploit people. So it's not a system that is designed for the happiness. So that's one of the difference. Now Thailand is also different because it's a Buddhist country. And so their whole system of thought is based on kindness, as opposed to judgment, sins, blame, shame, guilt, which is Christianism. So that's the difference, right? The whole structure of society is based on religious dogmas. And so when you go in countries that are more Buddhist, Buddhists are more about be kind to others, accept them for who they are, see them past their behavior. Whereas Christians are more like they're good and bad people, and they're going to judge people based on how they look, how they come across, how they sound like, or what they do. And so that creates a lot of division, a lot of judgment, a lot of blaming, a lot of clashes, a lot of pressure with others, but also with selves, because we live in guilt and shame because of sins, you know. Whereas in Thailand, there's much more compassion and empathy and kindness that is taught through Buddhism. So that's a very important aspect of it, indeed. And I was reading some stats, and I think some of the, I'm not sure which one. I think the happiest country in the world would be Finland, and I think Finland is an atheist society. So there's that as well. What we don't realize is that some religions, the way they have been taught, are really, really creating a lot of mental distress. The fear of going to hell, you know, and also I'm not enough. Why? Because I was born a sinner and I need a savior. I can't do it on my own. I'm not enough. You know, all of those things are really, really toxic to people's happiness. So that would be some of the very, very obvious difference that always jump into my face. When I go to Thailand, I love that place. People are lovely there. It's very, very different. And I haven't been to China, but I know I watch a lot of stuff on TikTok, and it seems to be a lovely place there. Not everywhere, but many places they've done a good job compared to America and compared to the UK, for instance. Sensory yours, reborn. It's in the eyes. Some people's eyes show more emotions than others. Be kind to yourself, exercise, read enlightening books, love. Mary, yes, thumbs up. Sincerely yours. Good talk. Good. God bless. Thank you, sincerely yours. Lulu, thank you for this live. Very helpful. Fantastic. Thank you, Lulu. Pumpkins, Puff. I completely understand. I will try to catch you next week. I enjoyed listening to your words / advice in the meantime. Thank you so much. So it's time for me to go. I'm going to finish this and I'm going to go slowly. Reborn, great live stream today. Looking forward to seeing you again. Thumbs up. Thank you. Bobby Hill, society is different everywhere you go, but help is always there. You just have to be willing to accept it. Perspectives are all different. Okay. Guys, I love you all. Thank you so much for watching. I will be back like Arnold next Saturday. I'm not sure what time yet. 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. What I'll do, however, once I know about my schedule a bit more, I will schedule the live. So if you come on YouTube, you will see in whatever time Didi will go live. So that will give you an idea if you want to attend how to organize your day, right? But I don't know yet, maybe 2, 3, or 4. I'm still playing with this time. I am on TikTok. If you don't follow me already on TikTok, please find me there. I post 3 new short videos every day on TikTok, and I go live there twice a week as well in the evening. However, I only go live whenever I can. So I don't know when it's going to happen. It depends on my schedule, with my work, on my energy, my mood. But I will always come on YouTube live Saturday afternoon. So this is a certainty. So at least you can make sure that if you don't follow me already, please subscribe on YouTube. Your support is highly appreciated. And I also post 3 shorts every day on YouTube. And there's a slight delay between the content, so it's slightly different, right? I think there's a 3-month delay. And also, I do plan to create some more long-form videos, hopefully sooner than later. Again, I've got so much thing to do, but it's in my radar. So if you have any questions, things you would like me to address on long-form videos for YouTube, you can always also ask me. If you believe that some of your friends could benefit from me, get them involved, and hopefully they can ask me questions directly the next time that I go live. If you need any more details about me as a therapist and coach, there's also a link to my website on every single one of my videos. And if I meet, I wish you a fantastic day or evening wherever that you are in the world. I love you all. Take care, look after yourself, and be kind to yourself. I'm going to read the last comment very, very quickly. Lulu, heart emoji. Monica, thanks. Bobby here. Sorry I was abrasive, but I'm glad I found you. Thank you so much, Bobby. Thank you for subscribing. Okay, guys. Where am I? How does it work? I press here. Ah, yes. Are you sure you want to end to stop the streaming? Yes. Guys, love you all. Bye-bye.